But yeah, there's a lot of things. Peer-to-peer is good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in. This is High Stakes Feud, Daniel Negreanu versus Doug Polk. It is session 8. Thank you all so much for joining us. My name is Jeff Platt, joined today by a member of the GG squad. You asked for him quite frequently, I must say, and you got him. KakiTee, welcome back to High Stakes Feud. Great to have you here, my friend.
What up, man? Good to be back.
Too much. Great to have you back. Yeah, in Austria. So the shift in locales, how did the move, or how has the move worked out for you so far?
Beautifully.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
From Philippines to Austria, settling in Austria and still willing to jump on this commentary. Like, what, you've been there, 2 days?
4 days now, maybe 5 days. I don't even know. Yeah.
Ready to dive into it. Okay, so what you're about to see, 2 tables of 200, 400 heads up, no limit Texas Hold'em on WSOP.com. We see
got the
that
reg
right
open sitting.
Yeah. Anybody wants to jump in before Negreanu? Doug Polk has taken his seat. The plan overall in this feud, just to remind you all, is to play 25,000 hands. Today we will cross the 3,000 hand mark in that plan. Today we expect a 2-hour session. The two players did have their first extended sessions this week. Yesterday being a massive win for Daniel Negreanu. KakiTee, I saw you a little bit in the chat yesterday, but your thoughts when you see the bottom line that has Negreanu plus 222K in yesterday's session?
My thoughts are what you talked about just before we got on stream. What are the odds right now? And my current thoughts are I will give 3.8 to 1 to bet on Doug against your Daniel's 1. So if somebody wants some action in Bitcoin, tweet at me.
Okay,
That's
there you go.
Current thoughts.
Can tweet at him. All right, well, Poker Shares has Doug Polk at minus 476. You bet 476 to win a hundo. They have Negreanu at plus 360, so you can get a little bit better of a price with Kaki if you would like. Just a little bit better. It's a huge shift in the odds, as Negreanu was a greater than 5-1 underdog yesterday, but I'm guessing, the shift makes sense when Negreanu wins more than $222,000 in a session. The biggest session that we have seen in the feud, and just like that.
I'll tell you what would put a real sweat on the people betting against Negreanu, though, is if he wins 10 buy-ins today.
Yes, I would say so. If he went plus 400K.
That's kind of what I'm rooting for. I want to put a little sweat on the boys. The boys aren't really sweating. They're like, it's just 4 buy-ins, 2K hands played, it's fine.
Right. Not a big deal so far.
Chuck 10 buy-ins on top. They'll be starting to sweat.
We look at the overall session results, 2,965 hands played. Negreanu up about 155K, so about 4 buy-ins as we discussed. Mitch in the chat says DNegs at plus 360, but Kaki can give me plus 380, like DNegs at that price. Love it, actually.
Tweet at me, Bitcoin.
Tweet at him? Bitcoin.
The dream coin.
Yeah.
This production is sponsored by Bitcoin, guys. Right?
We were talking a little Bitcoin before we came on. So we'll call the table on the left table 1, table on the right table 2. Be pretty simple here. On table 1, Jack 10, 6, 7, 2 hearts. Got 4K in the middle.
Do you guys reckon this beanie looks stupid on top of this headset? By the way, I'm undecided. I wanted to wear it, but
I like it. It's different.
Yeah, might be bad though,
Pot size bet from Doug Polk on table 1 after Negreanu checked him.
Yeah, Doug hasn't used pot much. I like pot.
Quick bet over bets. Plenty yesterday. Negreanu was able to pick him off on some river over bets. 10K in the middle. Table 1.
Daniel looks like he's considering a lead there on the river. Or he's tanking to make his opponent think he's considering a lead. Both kind of interesting.
Does end up checking.
Ooh, Doug check
Polk
with
checked.
Jackie 6. It's probably pretty reasonable. But he does have the top pair, so he's got like top and bottom. When he has that combination, like his opponent will have more 2 pairs that are in the middle. I'm not saying it's a bet, it's just like a little bit of a consideration. And against Danny, maybe you can bet like third pot, because he probably won't check raise enough as a bluff. But who knows?
So he did flop 2 pair, Negreanu top pair, top kicker. River perhaps slow down the action a little bit. Kaki, I would say mixed reviews for the beanie over the headphones.
Mixed reviews
in our chat, yeah.
I'll show you what else I've got. I've just got my hair. So, you know, it's one of those two.
Yeah.
Maybe I got my camera going up a bit as well. That could be good.
Thank y'all for joining us on GGPoker.tv. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe to the page. I know big plans coming up in the future for the subscribers to GG Poker's YouTube channel. Comment, share, say what's up to us in the chat, all the good stuff.
We got a "Where is Luke Schwartz?" question. It's a great question.
Oh, where is Luke Schwartz?
I don't know where he is personally. I've never met him. I like him. That's all I can add. I think he'd be a good commentator for this match.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
You hit him up on Twitter, right? And asked if
he's too cool. He's too cool to
reply.
reply.
He's too cool to respond.
Yeah. But he's a cool guy. I can understand it.
Yeah.
Who am I? I'm just some guy, you know? He's a cool guy, so it's fair.
Come on. I mean, you know, give yourself a little more credit.
Oh, yeah, right. You are calling me the great after all. I don't know where you pulled that one from, if that's your standard or whatever.
I did tweet that I would be joined by the great KakiTee today on GGPoker.tv. I don't think I was underselling.
Pretty great, man. What's this? 3 pot on the right table. DNegs checked. Interesting. This is a high frequency bet board, but you know, he'll check some hands.
Doug's 5-2 hearts.
Stabs small.
Takes it down.
Somebody said, "Why my eyes closed?" Yeah, man, I'm tired. I just arrived. I've been jet lagged for a few days. It's like 11:30 p.m. where I currently am, so I'm just tired, man.
Thomas in the chat says, "You are the man, the myth, the legend." So that means great, I think, was pretty accurate.
Yeah, that comment comes amongst a sea of dissing my moustache, so I'm glad that you stepped around those ones. Yeah, nice job.
Selective choosing. Certainly willing to, like I said yesterday, always willing to hear from the trolls if they're creative. But
yeah.
Like you suck, then it's just kind of boring. But
yeah, it's a bit soft.
You make us laugh, like absolutely, we'll read that comment.
How'd you go with there was a long session, right, Jeff, the other day?
Yeah, Monday they went really long. I want to say they went 3.5 hours or so.
What was the result of that session?
There was it was pretty dry overall as far as level of action is concerned. Polk won about 90K or so, but for a 637 hand session, like it wasn't that insane. I think the biggest pot was maybe 60 or 70K.
Okay. In this pot, on the right table, it's a 3-bet and a 75% c-bet from Doug. They actually had a kind of interesting hand on a similar board to this earlier where Doug 2-barreled a 3-2 and then just gave up with the nut low on the river, figuring that DNegs doesn't call the turn very light here. And maybe with this turn fold, he validates that theory. But not too many people might remember that hand. It just kind of stuck out to me. Shout out to anybody who knows what I'm talking about there with the deuce 3. I think it was in like the very first session maybe that I cast. Sorry about the specifics, man.
No, I like it. Dive in as deep as you would like. For those of you new to the feud, the buy-in is $40,000. Now you'll see, as we just saw from Negreanu on table number 2, if a player gets down to less than 40K, they will automatically top off to get back to 40K before the next hand begins. And again, we're about 3,000 hands into this thing. Daniel Negreanu up $155,000 entering play today. Firing 75%-ish on the flop on table.
Danny goes big on these queen high boards. I I don't know. Like, it could be good, I guess, but in 6-max spots, it doesn't tend to be good on queen high boards. I don't really know. Got no clue. But he tends to do that, and I think Doug sizes down on queen high boards, which makes more sense to me. But I really don't know. Anyway, Danny c-bets this one on the right. What will he do? Checks the turn. Okay.
2 diamonds, 2 spades out there.
Uh-oh. That was scary.
Another deuce on the river. That was me being a diva to producer Carlin, asking him if he can expand the screen on our end just a little bit. Get a better read of the numbers. Mission accomplished.
Okay.
Negreanu checks. River deuce.
Yeah. Feels like he's got ace high, like a lot. We'll see how Doug deals with that. 2/3 of the pot.
More than $13,700. Negreanu does make the call as he rivered the flush. Polk with queen 10.
I don't know what's going on in this match, man. That's not the first time I've seen a hand like that. This is really crazy. Did anyone tweet at me about that 3.8? I just got to check now.
Oh yeah, check. Let us know. Keep us posted if you're getting any action.
No. The boys are folding. It's a good fold, boys. Anyone who folded on that bet.
Taking a look at our replay. 4 spades on the turn. It goes check, check.
The river goes check, call. Okay, like Doug could be value betting 7s here. Negreanu has the nuts. You know? Anyway, the boys know, everybody knows. I don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on.
Can add that to the list if you would like to ask Daniel afterwards. We will have Negreanu on for an exclusive post-match interview when their session is done, as he 4-bets on table 2.
Kevin would take a pencil out in this situation and use it in a, I don't know, a jovial manner.
He had the 4-bet alerts. He would go ham on the 4-bet alerts.
He loves it, man. He loves it. I mean, I like it too. It's, you know, everybody likes a 4-bet.
Polk makes the call. King 9-7, 2 diamonds. More than 21K in the pot. Polk with about 30K behind.
Last time I recall a king high board very similar to this. DNegs found a check back and a fold to turn bet from Doug. We never found out what he had. This time he bets the 20%.
Frequent sizing of his. Polk makes the call. Now 30K in the middle. Polk with 25K behind. 5 of clubs on the turn. Action on Negreanu. Checks back.
Checky backy.
4 on the river.
Doug's going to be shoving like a lot here. Daniel's line is very, very weak. He's repping like the 10s, jacks, and queens that check back sometimes, at best, really. And like, sure, he should have some weak kings that occasionally check back turn, but in general, he's just going to be in a tough spot against the shove. Interestingly,
Negreanu rips it on the river.
Yeah, Doug doesn't find a river bet, which makes his range extremely weak too, because you don't really trap too much in that spot. Since most of the hands that Daniel checks back have some showdown value on the turn. Like, since he's 4-betting ace high at least. Which beats a lot of gut shots, so, you know, when Doug checks, he's usually giving up.
It's another good start overall for Daniel Negreanu, as far as the bottom line is concerned. Going into today, our friends at Poker Shares had Doug Polk as a slight favorite for this specific session 8. They had Polk at minus 156, bet $156 on Polk to profit 100. Negreanu the underdog at plus 138.
How does that work? So betting on the session?
Yeah, just this session. Just whoever comes away with the win in this session. That is it. That is all those odds are for.
So you just get the shit raked out of you, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there's a decent margin that's there in the middle.
I mean, I guess if time machines were a thing, then this could be a good spot. Yeah, I'm gonna fall asleep midstream. Yeah, maybe. It's all right. Daniel will keep 4-betting every now and again to keep me awake.
Yeah, you know? For sure. I think we'll see plenty of big pots, plenty of action to keep you in the mix. Grim Reaper, good question. How many hands into the challenge? We are at around the 3,000 hand mark, across the 10% mark of the overall feud. Yesterday, the plan is to play 25,000 hands. The losing player can opt out halfway through. 12,500 hands. Don't expect that, but you never know.
What do you think is going to happen, Jeff? You reckon it will play past 12-5?
I do. I really do think so. Even if it's a strong downswing for Negreanu over these next, 9,000 hands or so. I do think that he's competitive enough to keep going, that he feels comfortable enough to continue. And then Polk, I mean, I don't know. You'd be shocked if Polk ever stepped back from this one, yeah? Even if he was losing at 12,500, there's no way he would opt out, right?
There's not a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? Yeah, what do you think the final result will be then, Jeff? Like, just what comes to mind? Obviously, you'd rather Negreanu won, but...
Yeah, definitely will admit the slight bias towards Negreanu.
What do you think is likely to be the result? Say
I think
you had a free roll if you picked the result.
Right. I think that it will be competitive. I certainly consider Polk still a significant favorite. I think there's value in Negreanu at that either plus 360 price on poker shares or that plus 380 price that you are offering in the KakiTee sportsbook. I would just expect a close ending.
If that's the case, you should buy some DNegs.
Yeah, I should buy some DNegs.
But I mean, whatever.
Get some Bitcoin.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your money.
What about you? I
think it would just get destroyed still. Yeah. I mean, if I tune in and see him check call the river with the fucking nizzles when he could just be jamming.
You were not thrilled with that.
It's pessimistic. I'll say this. I think that he's up to tricks. Because I did talk briefly with him and I mentioned something about a similar hand and he said, there's some tricks going on. He didn't want to tell me what they were, which is understandable, but whatever they are doesn't seem like they could ever be good to me. So maybe I can't realize what they are, but I don't know.
With that said, though, do you still consider him a better heads-up player
than me?
Than you expected going into the entire feud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say that he's better than expected. I would also say that he's probably better than me because I don't play the format at all.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I could probably get better than him in like a week or something. Not that is of any interest to me whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, I think he's better than expected. It's just, there's still some pretty obvious errors to anybody who's played for a while, even if you don't play the format. Half the chat would at least know, probably the whole chat would know when they see him check all that river with a jack-high flush and that spot in a 3-bet pot. I don't think there was a single player who thought that was a good move that watched that hand. I have no idea why he did it. I'm not even going to ask him about it in the interview because it's just obviously a punt.
Okay.
I'm going to reserve my question for something spicy.
Ooh,
that's what I'm going to go for. Yeah.
How about a spicy overbet here from Doug Polk on the river on table 2?
Punctuating your sentence there nicely. Yeah.
Thank you. I think that's 20K. No pot of 13K. Negreanu makes the call.
Nuts.
It's ace jack for Doug Polk. Take down a 53K pot. Perhaps a nice little swing in momentum towards Polk.
Yeah, looks like a nice bet. probably a fair call by Daniel. Who knows what he had, but you have to call a lot. So, whatever. Probably all good.
Do have a GGPoker.tv free roll coming up in about 14 minutes from now. That means I'll give you the password to that free roll in 4 minutes. You'll have 10 minutes to register. No late registration for this one. Today, that free roll will give away 5 $55 mega satellite tickets to the Battle of Malta $550 main event. Now, in that satellite, 15 seats to the main are guaranteed. Again, I'll give you that password in just a couple minutes. Just wanted to get you all ready for that one. The GGPoker.tv free roll. Christopher in the chat,
man. It's so funny.
And Christopher says, can the person who's winning drop out at 12.5K hands? No.
Nah.
It's only the person who is losing that has that opt-out. $200, $400, and no limit. Texas Hold'em. We are playing heads up. Kaki, do you think Doug Polk is at all surprised with how good Negreanu has played throughout the last couple weeks? He's good in the relative sense, of course. Good to compared to what he thought he would be facing.
It's it's hard to talk from somebody else's perspective.
Sure.
But I don't think he's concerned about his success in the match. I think he still thinks the spot's good, and he expects to win. So, I don't know. Is he impressed by the play? It's hard to say. I don't know what he thought he was going to go up against. But I mean, Daniel's been studying pretty seriously, so I really just don't have a clue. If you ever get a chance to ask him, you should ask him that. It's probably a good question. And somebody in the chat pointed out that the board I was talking about was double paired with the with the jack high flush. I still think his hand just ends up being like a value bet, but yet it might not be a raise considering that. So thanks for pointing that out, man. I am a bit tired, I'll admit. As half the chat already knows, they're telling me, hey, bro, you've fallen asleep. So yeah, I am. Thanks for helping them.
On the Queen 4 Deuce 4 3 or no? It was Queen 4 Deuce 4 Deuce?
Yeah, it must have been Queen 4 Deuce 4 Deuce with the Queen 4 Deuce of spades.
Yes. You guys might have seen this on Twitter, but Dan Bilzerian chimed in on this feud yesterday as he tweeted at Doug Polk, congrats, heard you're killing the heads up match. Polk responded, you want next, bud? I'd say let's go, but you aren't man enough to play without begging for odds.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a pitiful comment from Doug because it's like ridiculous to expect even money against a whale heads up.
Right.
So I don't like this kind of behavior from him personally, man. I think he's a bit abusive to fish, He plays the guilt trip card on fish. It's like, fine, maybe it's really high EV play, but it's just so puss, Anyway, that's just my take.
Sure. It's not good for the game to attack fish when you have that kind of platform. I think that's safe to say. We are working on getting those tables back.
Yeah, so, I don't know what happened there. Sorry, boys.
You are stuck with the two of us. The good news is, Kaki, that I can at least give away the free roll password right now. Okay. The GGPoker.tv free roll password is feud. Capital F. It's feud. FEUD, giving away 5 $55 mega satellite tickets to the Battle of Malta main event. That main event is a $550 buy-in and a $3 million guarantee prize pool. I know you're more of a cash games guy. Kaki, will you jump in the Battle of Malta at all?
Yes, I will play the main.
Okay, there we go.
At some point, I will win a tournament. It probably will not be soon, but I'll try.
Battle of Malta main would be a nice one to win, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's like a leaderboard that I'm part of, and I didn't pay any attention to it.
I saw that.
And if I win, I get a 10K seat. It's like, shit, I probably should have woken up and paid attention to that. But instead, I'm drawing basically dead because I only played one tournament, and I just busted it straight away. But I'm pretty sure if I win the main, I'll get the 10K.
I would assume that you would have enough points to...
Yeah. So that's the new plan.
Move to the top of that leaderboard. Yeah, updated scores from the Battle of Malta People's Championship, I guess, is the leaderboard. And you'd get a 10K Super Millions ticket if you were able to overtake Easter Dams and Egyptian and Feraldo and Felipe and Jay Nandez.
Yeah, I'm on the bottom of the scoreboard, boys.
Just win the main. Easy game. Bet from Negreanu on table number 2. Polk makes the call. 5 on the river. About 12.5K in the pot. Straight for Polk.
Terrible river for him.
Yeah.
DNegs might have had a strong value hand, like maybe 2 pair. That'd be about the best that he would check back there. But we'll never know.
Again, GGPoker.tv free roll. The password is feud with a capital F. The password is feud. I did enjoy this tweet from Polk yesterday. It says, lose 220K in a session to a man flatting queens versus an open, and then go on Twitter and have Bilzerian talking shit. This is my life now.
Yeah, I don't really like the kind of shit that he says or thinks. It just kind of pisses me off personally. I think he's a pussy and just pretty annoying. But, I mean, maybe you like him. Maybe you think he's a cool dude. He just strikes me as an annoying asshole.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that's kind of what I thought. I met him recently, interviewed him twice for some of the Poker Go production for this high stakes feud. And I did really like him in person. So I don't know if there's, some kind of online troll versus in-person element of it all.
Some people say that everything he does online is just business. It's possible. I don't really like the idea of just being a scummer as your business.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a
like using negative
one.
Headlines to draw people to your content.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of, I don't know, man. It's just a feeling. You know how sometimes you have a feeling about a person?
Yeah. So our latest tally has Negreanu down about 24K for the session, which puts him still up about 130K for the overall feud. Randall in the chat says, here's Jeff's commentary. Answers simple questions that he answered in every stream that nobody cares about and promotes GGPoker. Jeff, nobody cares. He has figured out kind of my gig, my shtick. That's all I can do. It's really simple. Nobody what?
You're a good crewmate if you know the game Among Us. You never get voted out.
Yes, that's true.
You stay until the end and then you win.
I'd kind of slide under the radar the entire time. I would assume. I don't know. I don't play too much. Negreanu fires about 10K on the river on table 1, 13K in the pot. Got Polk in the tank. Lays it down. Negreanu picks up another one.
Do you do much chat interaction, Jeff?
I try to. Coverage? I'm pretty. I'm pretty bad at it because I don't do well at keeping up with it all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of comments. I really like interacting with the chat personally. I want to read a lot of the comments, but it distracts too much from the rest of what we're doing, unfortunately.
Right. But with that said, I do think when there's kind of a lull in the action, when there aren't many big hands going on, I think the chat's great. I mean, I always try to ask for that chat interaction. I just, again, don't do a great job on following through on my end of the equation.
I'm on the left table, Danny 3-bet and C-bet 75% pot on this board. Just 100 BB to start the hand. Will he do something on the turn? He may shove. He does shove.
He does.
Doug does not snap, but we'll have lots of hands that call.
Does make the call with the 6-5. Negreanu had 9.
Perfect hand against 6-5.
And the 9s do hold for Daniel Negreanu. Another good start for him today. Session 8 of High Stakes Feud. 2 of those outs for Polk. One more time with 4 minutes left to register for the free roll. 5 $55 mega satellite tickets to the $550 Battle of Malta main event. The password is feud. The ggpoker.tv free roll password is feud. Kaki, I feel like when you were doing the high stakes cash game rails on Twitch, you were pretty good at just interacting with everybody in the chat.
Yeah, man, I leave no comment unanswered, you know?
Yeah. And that was busy too. I mean, I know we have 2 tables of heads up going on, so it's a little bit different, but
yeah, 2 tables
still
of
were
heads
able to
up is
accommodate the chat.
a lot of action. But I mean, there's no hole cards, so you can sort of ignore a lot of pots. Like sometimes they're quite interesting, but without knowing the hole cards, it's hard to give a fuck. The times the pot gets bigger, the chances of the hole cards being shown is higher, the chance of, you know, it being an interesting pot to all the viewers is higher. So it feels like we're kind of just waiting around for like these large pots.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a decent sized pot on the right. And I think to your point, that's what made the live action to kick this thing off so much more intriguing, or just so intriguing in general. When you can see the whole cards. Yeah,
for Shizzy, man, I really think they should do another session. I think like Doug's a massive nit if he doesn't do at least one more live session for the boys.
Okay.
Like the thing is, if he was up $1 million, he would probably do it. But like, come on, bro. Like you could do it anyway. It's 200 hands.
Nice little stretch for Negreanu. Flush on table 2, got paid off on table 1 with aces and 5s. Yeah, just 200 hands and a 25,000 hand challenge. I do think that there may be plans to get them back into the live arena.
Oh, what have you heard, bro?
Just that there may be plans to get them back into the live arena.
Yeah. Specifics, that's right.
No, sorry, they're not important enough for them to give me any specifics. As Polk 3 bets on table 2. Negreanu makes the call. 773 rainbow. Polk leads for 2200-ish.
We might see something interesting here. I feel like we haven't seen it go all the way yet. What am I forgetting? Like one pot where Danny stacks him, right? Oh, the 5, 6,
the 9s.
Open ender in a pair, against 9s.
Polk leading for about 2/3 pot.
Yep. He uses that sizing pretty often. Daniel doesn't use it at all. Neither do I personally. I kind of find it awkward.
Okay.
Definitely got its uses though.
3rd heart pops up on the river. 5 of hearts.
Are you rooting for the jam?
Like you, I just want to see massive pots. Yeah. So however we get to that, yeah, I think that's what I'll root for.
Maybe they'll just do some flips one time.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
It'd be pretty good for Daniel, yeah.
Right.
Well, anytime you have like he's got what the fuck?
Wow, is Negreanu flop trip 7s?
He must have just valued it something.
Runner heart.
I didn't catch the size.
You can pull up that replay for that hand.
Polk with the check snap with the flush. What's going on, boys? People are check calling flushes, man. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about at all. But I just feel like not stacking someone when you have a fucking flizzy just feels wrong.
There's the lead on the turn. Negreanu making the call. Polk rivering the flush. And check calling this 21K bet from Negreanu, which you aren't too thrilled with.
I just don't fucking get it, man. Like, maybe I know nothing and I'll just go to bed, you know? Like, right. I just don't get it, bro. You just rivered a flush. The whale has trips and you don't stack him. It's like, fuck, man, you know? That's tough.
Ricardo in the chat, how often do you update the results of the session at the bottom? Well, we are updating them right now. And so you see that Negreanu is up about $42,000 in the session. Now, that was before that last hand that we highlighted took place. So he's up about 175, 180K overall for the feud. Our guys, Alex and Jeff, updating the numbers for us. We greatly appreciate that. So we update them about, I don't know, every 5-10 minutes or so, or when there's a big hand.
Yeah, but just like fire into people in the chat. I love doing it. I'll just occasionally at someone who shit talks me and just destroy them. Some guy tells me to change my voice, and I tell him that his mom likes it deep though.
Okay, that's
double entendre, man.
That's destruction, I would say. That's destruction.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, and I'm sure you agree, that if somebody bashes you in the chat, but you're the one who responds,
they can take it back.
Or you respond and they're like, oh, no, I didn't mean it. Actually, big fan of your work.
Yeah. Then there's a check raise
from Negreanu on table 1 as he makes it 22K.
Yeah, check raise here. Interesting sizing, not all in. It's hard to work out the math, but it's something like half pot. Oh, he's getting jammed.
The shove.
This is a sickie. Negreanu definitely going to tank on this one.
It's for about 13K more.
Yeah, I mean, it would be surprising if Doug showed up with enough bluffs. These are spots that are hard to have. Like, you're not supposed to have many, like, for the odds that you're offering. Negreanu goes ahead and makes a fold. Interesting. He could have had nothing himself. He could have folded a very strong hand. Probably an interesting one. See, that hand there, that'd be worth asking him about, I think. Whether he had a value hand and folded. Like, he didn't snap fold, so. But he did fold pretty fast.
We will get a chance to talk to Daniel Negreanu after this session.
Shout out to Cole Swanak in the chat. High stakes reg. Yeah. Destroyer of the games. Among Us Pro as well. Very, very solid.
Versatile. Talented across the board. Patrick and Jeff today running the stats. Alex taking the day. We'll allow it.
What up, Stefan Holtz? Thank you for the positive vibes, man.
Yeah,
amongst the sea of shit talking the mustache.
Did this yesterday. Let's do it once more today. Let us know in the chat where you are watching us from. I know we have a worldwide audience. Hit us up. Let us know. Maybe some Austria where Kaki is. Maybe some Vegas where I am.
Yeah, man. Everyone's in Austria apparently. I'm gonna make a new job for myself. I'll be the what's it called? The VPN checker. I'll go around and make sure everybody's really here. You know?
Thank you. The poker community appreciates that.
They think it's the police. Nah, bro, it's worse. I'm the VPN checker. All your funds have been seized. Unless you pay me half your roll, then you're cool.
Okay. Certainly susceptible to bribes. Negreanu leads on table 1, 7-3-3 rainbow.
Man, they love that question, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
all right, guys.
All over the world: Denmark, Wisconsin, UK, Dublin, England.
Every time I've read a penis size survey, I've always felt it was inaccurate. Could everybody please type in inches their dick size in the chat? Let's get some more information about everybody, and we can sell this shit to Google and make a little cash.
Oh, that's true. I'm guessing you'll get both ends of the spectrum here.
If someone puts 3 digits down, like, could you please just get off the internet, by the way?
Yeah.
If you're going to bluff, at least just go something in the
levels. Yeah.
Like 20 inches, you know, like make it like believable, you know, in your own warped mind. Shout out to any 2s and 3s in the chat. My boys.
Oh, we also have, what metric system are you using? Like, do you guys use centimeters or inches?
I think dick is measured in inches normally.
Oh, okay.
We use centimeters, yeah.
Yeah, certainly all over the map.
National penis measurement for some reason.
All over the map.
Not sure why. Yep, 6.9. That's a good answer. I like that answer.
And of course, mixed into all of the answers, a shout out to the current president of the United States of America. Negreanu 3 bets on table 1. The 4 bet from Doug Polk. Little bigger sizing on this 4 bet than we've seen from him in the last.
He sizes up a bit, especially off deeper stacks. They're just a little bit deeper at 150 or so.
Good point. It's made about 12.6K. Negreanu laid it down. Potential is there on table number 1 for a pretty sizable pot.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught this one hand from a few sessions ago, Jeff, but Doug made one of those larger 4 bets and Negreanu 5 bet it. So like, a very large amount of his stack, like 30K off an 80K stack kind of thing. Anyway, it was ace king against jacks, but it like went post flop. It was quite an interesting hand. Very strange hand.
Strange in what way?
Yeah, I mean, you would imagine they would have just got it in pre because of how much money DNegs put in. But I guess Doug decided to flat, and then Doug made a really small stab instead of like, protecting his hand. Maybe he's flatting because he figures ace king is a large part of DNegs, pre-flop 4 bet for that sizing especially. I don't know, it was just very odd. And then Negreanu rivers an ace, but he doesn't shove it. He just checks. Anyway, it's kind of a strange hand.
10K in the pot on table 2. Negreanu fires, Negreanu wins.
Yeah, just a word of advice for anyone in the chat. If you type in all caps or if you type swear words, it like kind of auto bans it.
Right.
So you're just wasting your own time by doing that. If you want your comment to be seen, I think you just don't swear and don't write in caps, unfortunately.
I would say that's pretty good advice. Kaki, what about the main event? You plan on firing that one? Like the main event.
The main? I mean, there's $1 million free roll. It's kind of good.
Yeah.
But are they going to run it? I heard that they might not even, like they're sort of undecided because there's so many fucking weird regulations with the travel restriction bullshit.
Sure.
And like, imagine if you final table as the chip leader and you fail a COVID test and then you bust in 9th, so
yeah,
unlucky.
It's a good game.
So I'm not sure.
Okay.
I hope if it does run, I hope there's no bullshit. Like, I hope it's just smooth.
Yeah.
Because it would be tilting as fuck to
bust tilting just to see that happen to somebody. I feel like. Yeah,
it's bad press like for the game if shit like that's happening. Because whoever that would happen to has every right to be complaining.
Yeah, no question about it. That main event does kick off in 10 days. Day 1A, Sunday, November 29th on GGPoker. Day 1B, Saturday, December 5th. Day 1C, the next day. Day 2, December 7th, they'll play down to 9. Those 9 scheduled to go to King's Casino in Rosvedov. They'll play down to a winner for the international tournament on December 15th.
Very close to me as well, Rosvedov.
Is it really? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm in. I'll make the final table. I'll head over there.
Okay.
I'll win the tourney.
Okay. Then
that sounds fine. I can do that.
Okay.
Actually, no, I won't win the tourney. I can't be fucked going to the US. That's too much hassle.
But even for a $1 million free roll heads up match?
Nah. Because you obviously just lose it. You fly over there, you do all the bullshit tests, you do the quarantine. Yeah,
the one who has to
get to the casino, you'll lose. Yeah. Or worse yet, you'll win and they'll want you to tip them. See, that's another problem. You get the guilt trip tip.
As the American champion will take on the international champion December 30th at the Rio El Suite Hotel and Casino for a cool milli. That will be shown on ESPN. Good for the game.
Yeah, I sort of missed his hand on the left table, but it was a 3-bet pot, obviously. Probably bet flop. Maybe
that replay.
So it's kind of a weird one because he either bet like massive on the flop, which might have been what he did. Let's just find out with the replay. Or he went small. Yeah, he goes small. Okay.
Polk raise flop.
Oh, okay. Polk raises flop. Interesting.
Check on the turn. Negreanu, rivers, aces, and jacks.
20% the river, yeah.
Lead small.
Oh, it's a quarter pot, yeah. Anyway. Strange. Yeah, a lot of people were asking me about the Turkish thing. Ben Türkçe çok az. Okay, boys, I can't speak for shit. I spent a few months there once, but it was maybe 13 years ago.
$16K in the pot on table 2. Looks like a very quick break for Negreanu after this hand is over. Four on the river.
Snap.
75% sizing here. Polk in the tank. Negreanu with 22K behind. To the time bank.
Yeah, it's a good fold. It's a good fold right there, I'll say. Yeah, so the previous commentator, Jeff, Kevin, me and him had sort of a running joke where Negreanu was eating a banana during these breaks. So I brought myself a banana for the break. But apparently he's just, he takes a lot of pisses, I guess.
Right. There are a lot of real short, like 45-second, 1 minute break. But yeah, the banana break, definitely watched you guys discussing that. And then the chat reminds us every time that they're on break. I should have been prepared with the banana.
A lot of the boys putting me on being high as well. It's just my droopy, tired eyes, guys. I don't smoke weed.
It's just tired. Moving across the world. A little bit of jet lag.
His beanie's kind of rasta though, like with the headphones, it looks like a really, like I got dreads under there or something.
It's very... Yeah, it does take on an entirely new look, I would say, because of the headphones. If you were to wear it normal, it'd obviously go like straight up or whatever. But now, with such an extension of the side, it flattens out the back.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. It's like you re-stylized the beanie. Wonder if we'll see this trend catch on.
Yeah, beautiful trend.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, Negreanu's back. Negreanu's ready to go.
He comes back. He always plays like a monkey when he comes back. That's why we thought he was eating the banana. He like comes back in 3 bets and 4 bets like the first 2 hands.
Right. Just ready to go, man. Harmo in the chat. Amanda is tomorrow. Yes, Amanda Negreanu will join us tomorrow.
I think you should force Amanda to keep the Twitch chat, the YouTube chat open and try to read as much of it as she can.
Okay. I mean, she's, as you guys might have seen in the chat yesterday, Amanda is plenty open, plenty honest. So she's not afraid to answer some questions. It's Negreanu 4 bets on the right. Polk makes the call. Jack 5-3, 2 hearts.
I told you, bro. He comes back. Like, he doesn't know that he's doing this. Like, we know that he's doing this. Doug probably knows that he's doing this, and he doesn't know that we know,
Polk checks. Negreanu fires small. At 20% sizing we've seen fairly frequently. Polk lays it down. Another pickup for Daniel Negreanu.
I'm very in favor of the post-break 4-bet pot and take it down. That pleases me. Because I really feel like he's just in there with garbage.
3-bet here. Polk makes the call. 9 deuce 3 2 hearts.
Yeah, stays consistent. Does size up these boards. I'm pretty sure it's gold. You could probably even pot like a board like this, but yeah.
Goes about 75%. Polk makes the call. Jack of diamonds on the turn, 21K in the pot.
Yeah, and they're deep here, keep in mind. I feel like in these spots, Negreanu's been steering away from his normal sizing and sizing in a way that makes the SPR sort of like 3/4 pot on the river. So his turn bet sizing is kind of based on how deep they are, which kind of isn't a thing, but you can understand why people do it. Like if you're up against a fish, you're always trying to stack them, right? Like you bet this much on the turn so you can shove on the river and take all this money, you know? But yeah.
Third heart hits the river.
We're about to see a check call with a flush, if I had to guess what's about to happen.
How about a lead for 16K?
He must have nothing. He check calls all of his flushes. I have a question loaded up for you, Jeff, but we'll let these pots resolve.
Sounds good. So there's 20K in the middle on table 1. Polk folds table 2. Checks
the banana
table
man
1.
Gets it through. And
Negreanu checks back with the 5s, and those 5s are good.
See, these bananas are just great for the game.
Right.
You come back, you just start firing and win every pot. It's all good. But yeah, what I was going to ask you, man, is do you think that Negreanu's just regular Hold'em game is going to significantly improve from this process that he's going through here? Or do you think that this won't change too much for, you know, his normal, let's say, tournament full ring poker game?
Yeah, it's a great question. I heard Negreanu approach that subject on his podcast, and he thought he thought that it was going to help him in tournaments moving forward. I mean, you know, these high roller tournaments are just full of absolute sickos, but he thinks that his team has implemented some new concepts, some new strategies that he could apply to the 6-max tournaments, 7-max tournaments, et cetera, that we see in the super high roller world. So I do think that he will get a little bit better. What about you?
I think he'll improve heaps, honestly. Okay. I think he'll go from being like a fish to being like at least a break-even reg in these tourneys. That's my guess. I think it'll make a big difference to him. Like that said, I mean, I'm not saying he loses in large field like whale tourneys. Like not many people lose
he has a huge edge in those. I would.
But I think in some of the tougher tourneys, like he might, you know, I think he's going to improve his game a lot.
Yeah.
Is it worth millions of dollars? Probably not, though. So we'll see if he can like not lose much or like win this challenge. That'd be incredible. It would also completely ruin Doug's career, in my opinion. Like if he could win this match, that'd be so sick.
Which is kind of okay for Doug, right? Because he was already retiring from poker, or maybe he was already retired. So
yeah, but this is like a dishonorable discharge, bro. if you fucking go out like this.
Praised.
Yeah.
Well praised. I remember years ago, maybe was it 2017 or maybe the end of 2016 when Negreanu was playing in the high roller tournaments when the Germans were ruling the world and said, you know what, I need to get much better in order to compete with these guys. And he did take some time. He did hit the lab, as Joey Ingram would say. And he did start to fare well, small sample size, of course, and small fields in those super high rollers. But he did get better. But I have no idea where his tournament game ranks today in comparison to, you know, the Jason Koons, the Daniel DeVoreses of the world. I think it, you know, it shows some self-awareness to say that he needs to improve a lot of tourneys. That's cool. But like back in the day, same dude said that in 2 weeks he could beat 25-50 online. You know, it's kind of the polar opposite statement to make. Which that's was actually the very beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It was the beginning. That's what started rubbing regs the wrong way. Like most regs are like, Daniel Negreanu, man, he's fucking famous. Like, go get a photo with him. And then he's like saying this shit about 25-50. And you're like, I'm a fucking 5'10" reg, bro. Like, you're never beating 25-50. What the fuck are you talking about? And then he's like, rake is good. You're like, this guy sucks, bro. But I don't know. I've kind of turned around on him a bit. I think he didn't understand the rake thing. That's what I think happened. I think he just didn't get it. And then he like said the wrong thing. And then he like pretended he knew what he was talking about, but he didn't. That's sort of what happened with the rake thing. He's kind of just like, it's not his fault. He's actually a pretty like honest guy who seems nice. He's just a bit misunderstood. He got caught out a couple of times. And look, man, if you're getting paid fucking infinite millions of dollars by sites, you can understand that the guy's trying to like, you know, keep the paycheck. Like I can relate to that. So yeah.
And he also, there's no argument from anybody here, including Polk, that he's been really good for the game overall. You know, as far as the value that he brings to the level of exposure that poker gets, and how well he's done as a GG ambassador, for example, and always accommodating every single media request under the sun. I do think it's objectively proven in a sense that he's just a very good ambassador for the game. Now, I'm certainly biased, as we talked about, when we started this thing. Friends with him, friends with Amanda, but I also do think that he's really good for poker.
For sure. He's got that like personality type where, he is what you want live poker to be like a bit of chatting.
Yes, exactly.
Something interesting going on. You can't watch just a bunch of dudes with their headphones, like playing a really good hand. And you're like, oh man, he played it so well. Like nobody gives a fuck if he played it well, They care if this guy's like, I'm going to put in 2 bricks of money, and he throws them into the middle. He's like, oh man, I think you have nothing. I call. And he's like completely wrong. This is what you want to see in a TV poker game. So yeah, for sure, man. Good ambassador. And that's why so many of us liked him. It was just that 25-50 comment where we were like, hey, fuck you, bro. Like, it's hard to win at online poker. Yeah. But that's all in the past, man. Like we were all young back then. That was at least like 10 years ago or some shit. Or maybe not quite that long, but yeah.
I think case in point to what you were saying is if you just watch I guess it was 2019 Super High Roller Bowl, and he made that program entertaining, at least in my opinion. I think he played really well. We're being results oriented when I say that, but I think he played well, but he also expressed that personality, which I think, changed the game in a sense for how those super high rollers come across on TV, on Poker Go.
Is that the one, out of interest, with Doug and the shirt and all that you're thinking of? Or?
That one is the year before. That's the 2018 one where Negreanu happened to finish second to Justin Bonomo. And Doug
that was great. For anyone who hasn't seen that, you should check that out. The one where he plays against Doug. I had a look at it on my stream, although maybe that's a bad copyright thing, but whatever. When we were gearing up for this match, we wanted to see what's the beef history, with these two dudes. And man, it was good. It was really awkward. Whenever Danny won a pot, and he won like most of them, he was really fucking happy. Like it meant the world to this guy. You could see this emotion on his face. And you're like, man, this is some petty fucking shit. But that's entertaining as fuck, That's exactly what you want to see. Well, what did you think, Jeff, when you saw these two guys sit down live and suck each other's dicks, man? Like that shit wasn't too good.
You know what? I really wasn't that surprised. And I'm not just saying that because I just saw it. I would have been surprised, Kaki, if they just came in and started talking shit to each other right off the bat. I just don't think that's
Just give me awkward silence at least,
Oh, yeah. Now that's probably what I thought was most likely going to happen, that they would just be really quiet. So I guess I'm glad they talked versus not talking at all,
Yeah, it was so disappointing when it was like the friendly laughter and like, oh, I'll get you a coffee, bro. Oh, don't worry. It's like, fuck, man, really? Some people are like that, obviously. And I feel like if the situation played out just slightly differently, it might not have gone down that path. But once they started the friendship, kind of door, it was already fucking open. It was too late.
Sure.
It was horrible for TV, though. Like, it was an awful play. They should have just sat there like fucking hating, or at least on Daniel's part, hating Doug. I think Doug's just sort of businessing this situation. Like he's kind of surprised that it went down this way. I think Doug did a leech-based strategy, using Negreanu for fame and now riches. That's what I think happened. I don't think it was really personal at all on Doug's part. He just thinks Negreanu's a donk and he doesn't like some of the stuff, but he's mainly just leeching.
You think that strategy is continuing?
I think it's come to full fruition. Yeah. Okay. You couldn't have dreamed, like when he made his first video about Daniel Negreanu being a tool or whatever, he would never have dreamed that he'd be like taking millions in EV off him right now. This is like an absolute fucking dream for the guy. And the fame, right? Like he goes from not being very well known to being very well known, probably the most well known online poker dude outside of like Dur's reputation or whatever.
Yeah.
But active online known dude in poker, Doug Polk, that's your guy. Like so famous that has made Joey's famous, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess those two, I don't know, did they start in the content game, like as far as video content and podcasts are concerned, kind of around the same time?
Joey was in there for a while, man. Joey used to be good, bro, honestly.
Well, yeah, Joey was playing a lot. I know that.
He used to be a good, like, I would watch his podcasts and shit. He had Daniel Alai, who's like a scummer, on one time. He called Trujillo on Full Tilt. And yeah, he was just like, do you know what, man? I can't even fucking talk to you. You know, just get the fuck out of here. Get off my show. You're such a piece of shit. I was like, yes.
Wow.
That is correct. Really? Well, maybe he didn't say it exactly like that. But that was what he pretty much said. And I was like, I like this show. And then he was talking about BGG, man, the big girl grind. And I'm like, well, I don't really like fat chicks, but I think it's awesome that this guy likes fat chicks and he just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, you respect him talking about it.
But then I think he hung out with Doug too much and he became like business Joey. And business Joey is just bad and boring. You know, I'm out. Anyway. Don't worry, guys, I'm here, okay? I'm what Joey was trying to be.
There we go. You gonna conduct some podcast interviews on your Twitch channel?
I've done a couple in the past. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'll do one with Luke Schwartz if he's keen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get you two on the same content streets, whether that's commentary here or you guys just chatting, shooting the shit. Like Luke Schwartz, you said it. He's, I guess you'd say television gold.
He's just funny as fuck, man. Like to me, there's an interview. I can't remember. Somebody linked me. It's so funny, man. It's something to do with these super high roller balls you were talking about.
Yeah.
And he has an interview, and he's talking about Doug's bankroll challenge. Bullshit. $1 to $100, and I was just like out of my seat laughing. It's like the funniest way to describe the bankroll challenge is $1 to $100.
Yeah, that's good.
It really epitomizes why nobody gives a fuck about bankroll challenges. Because like nobody would watch 1 to 100, right? It's the same fucking thing for 10 to 1,000 or whatever. You know, it just makes no difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people think I'm high, man. Look, I don't even drink, guys. I'm an ex-drinker.
Doug did tweet about that bankroll challenge yesterday after somebody said to him, dude, all you have to do is fold to big river bets and not massively over bluff. And so then Polk said, I'm having flashbacks to the bankroll challenge where people told me I was an idiot not to do that every session. And I turned $100 into 10K over 60 sessions. I don't play like that. I'm not out here to play like a nit. If DNegs hits big hands, he is going to get paid. Simple as that. And then he followed that tweet up with, don't get it twisted. I'm going to win the challenge. Remember this tweet.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, we're about an hour into session 8.
Okay.
The plan is to play 2 hours, but could always extend as they have both Monday and yesterday.
Someone says nobody likes a quitter, like drinking. But nobody likes somebody who quits quitting, man. And that's what drinking after you said that you're not going to drink is.
That would be, that would qualify.
Quitting is even worse than quitting.
Oh, good question from you, Lozen, in the chat. Kaki, opinion on the Bill Perkins drama, on what went on, at least on Twitter.
Yeah, shout out to my man Dankness. Used to have a 80% fold to 3-bet, but always liked him. So his name's Will Jaffe on Twitter. He was shit talking Perkins recently. He's just 100% right about the whole thing. Yeah. Perkins, I mean, he's basically a donk. He wants people to care about his opinion and show him respect. Some regs do the ring kissing thing to like get into home games. They're like, "Oh, bro, that's a really sick book, man. I love your book. You're really smart. Like in business, you're smart, man." But like he just tweets whale fucking shit all the time. So he's just a whale, man. That's all it is. Shout out to DNegs.
God, his videos are good. I think even Perkins admitted.
Nah, Perkins was butthurt, man. He's like, "You're
was he? I
busto.
thought he said good.
You're busto, man." So yeah, nice one, man.
About a pot size bet. Slight over bet from Polk on table 2.
All right, you need to ask me about someone that I like. I'm talking too much shit.
Why don't you tell us about somebody that you like who's kind of an up-and-comer?
Up-and-comer? Yeah, I got a guy,
Okay.
Anton Morgenstern.
Morgenstern.
He's a real up-and-comer. He used to grind heads up, but I heard that he's getting into 6 max PLO soon. And yeah, watch out for him on the streets, boys, all right?
I mean, we know him just, from the casual poker fan perspective, as Polk rips it here on table 2.
Yeah, just ignore
for about
this
46K effective.
Shout out, Anton.
Negreanu in the tank.
What do you reckon? Is he going to call?
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say he calls and he wins.
Okay. Wins a small pot on table 1 while we wait for the decision on table 2. He does fold.
Awful laydown, unfortunately. Just got bluffed. Should have taken the RTA. Should have had the stream open on the side and just listened to the advice there, I think.
Oh, there's Anton in the chat.
Is he? See, he's studying right now, man.
Yeah.
He's taking tips from the boys. Where's Anton in the chat?
The poker world recognizes Anton from, of course, the World Series of Poker main event. Really, where he just always runs deep in that, it seems.
Yeah, I heard he savagely punted. That's what I heard.
Oh yeah, I think he'd be the first to admit it.
But that's the old Anton.
But then I think he made a run last year and didn't punt, just did not win. So that's a step in the right direction. Negreanu overbetting the turn on table 2. Polk clicked back on table 1.
Overbetting on monos is a strange thing, kind of. At least I'm very inexperienced with it, unless it's the river. It's an interesting hand on the left table too. Some sort of flop raise, turn barrel, and a snap call.
7s and 5s for Polk on table 2 to win that pot.
It's a funny comment from Skylar Dick in the chat. It's very off topic, but those kind of random comments make me chuckle.
Anton in the chat said, "Here for KakiTee's wonderful sense of humor." Goes check on table 1 as Negreanu had turned trip 10s.
Did he check back the river with trips?
I believe so. We can pull up that replay.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I'm going the double Connie on my ears. I got the beanie over the fucking headphones.
Nice. Let's see. Polk check calls flop. Negreanu turns the trip 10s. Polk leads small. Negreanu raises. Polk 3-bets. Negreanu calls.
Okay, check. Damn, man. Yeah, and Doug actually has a hand that's definitely capable of calling a river bet. So, I mean, whatever. He probably doesn't call a large one, but he might be forced to call a small one. Jack Kicker with the triplets.
Doug over bets table 2, on table 2, I should say, takes it down. We're about 14 minutes away from giving y'all the free roll password. Be sure to click like, click subscribe. Big plans in the future, I believe, for GGPoker's YouTube channel for the subscribers there. Comment in the chat, say what's up. Share it. All the good stuff. I don't know what else you can do on YouTube, but the like, share, subscribe combo sounds good to me.
Do you feel comfortable right now, Jeff? The chat are concerned that I'm, I'm sort of
Stuart Weeks
off.
in the chat says, I feel like Jeff isn't comfortable right now. Huh. I feel like I'm more comfortable today than yesterday, more comfortable yesterday than Monday. It's all about getting into a groove in the commentary world. But I don't know. Are you comfortable, Kaki?
I'm all right, man. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm going to shield myself at this point. A couple of people ask if I have a YouTube and a Twitch. Yeah, I got both. My screen name's KakiTee, KakiTee. Just search either one for that word. You'll find it. I also play Among Us, but I might have quit. I might have quit for good, boys.
For good?
Yeah.
Why?
I came home last night after playing some board games, and I played a half-hour session. I lost every game, and I played like shit, and I rage quit. And I was just like, you know what? I should just be fucking grinding. What am I doing playing this game? Getting destroyed by fish eggs. That may have been my last game ever.
You'll be back.
Shout out to the boys.
Good time to mention then, how about Saturday sessions every Saturday with the GG squad, #squad session. There's the link, twitch.tv/KakiTee. Now, was this summer the first stretch of time where you started to do like the high stakes cash rail of sorts on Twitch?
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea that games that high ever ran.
Yeah.
So that was just like, oh, this could be all right. I mean, it was sort of fun to watch them. And then, a lot of people started watching with me. So it was more about just playing music and talking shit to the chat. And it was cool because some of the players from the games came into the chat, and then they interacted with the other people. Like, people would ask them a question about what a hand maybe, or just like what they do with their lives. So it was kind of a nice moment for the fans and like the actual high stakes players to interact. Because that's the dream for a fan. It's like you can talk to Linus or Limitless in the chat, and they're like, yeah, bro, I fucking live over here, and this is what I did on the weekend. They're like, shit, he's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Those were fun. Good sweats. We had I did a kind of similar version for tournaments during the WSOP. We had Negreanu call in, and it was, same thing as you're talking about. Just when the chat can interact with some of these guys. They're top level in the poker world.
Yeah, well, that's one of the cool things about live streaming, is just your ability to be in there in the chat and influence, it's like, it's different to watching TV in that sense. Like, what you say and think can influence. Like, somebody shouted out that the board was double paired that I was talking about before. I was like, fuck, I actually didn't realize that. Thanks, bro. But still, I think it was a punted hand. Like, he should just bet the river or something. If he does check, I think he should be check raising, even though it's double paired board.
Okay.
Just add that guy. But anyway, not a big deal.
I think it gets to a point also where the people on your stream, not just trying to hype you up a ton just because you're here, but where the people on the stream will just come because they enjoy what you're doing. I mean, they like sweating the high stakes cash, but maybe it's not something that they would normally do. And so if they can get that added level of entertainment, and then they kind of look at you like they've looked at those poker players. I don't know. It's just a cool live. I mean,
in a perfect world, that would be true. I have no idea if it's true or not.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. The people that do hang out, like, we do have a bit of a community buzz. Like, I would say I know most of the dudes now. Like, I know at least some shit about them.
Yeah.
The regulars in my chat, and there's quite a few people. Yeah. Anyway, we can talk about someone else. There's a pot.
Talk about table
11,000 in the pot.
6 of spades on the river. It's 10s for Doug Polk. It's 6s for Negreanu. This is session 8 of High Stakes Feud, Daniel Negreanu versus Doug Polk. They're playing 200, 400. No limit, Texas Hold'em, heads up. For those of you brand new to this, maybe brand new to poker, it means $200 is the small blind, $400 is the big. Negreanu up overall in this High Stakes Feud, about $150,000. The session about even. FizzGig says, I'm here because of the commentary, the community, and I have real money on this. Good combination. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to all of you for being here. We appreciate it. Remember to check out GG. You can choose your welcome deposit bonus, $100 in free tournament tickets, or get that 100% match up to $600.
You love it, eh, man? You just got no problem just going through the shill machine.
No, I can go pretty ham as far as promos are concerned.
I haven't clicked the button yet, you know, like when I
which is awesome, which trust me, I respect. I'm not.
It's not a respect. I respect you for being able to do it, honestly, man.
Okay, good.
I find it very hard. It's like I'm imposter and I've got no excuse, you know. I try to start shilling. It's just like, there's a free roll and, you know, there's like a tiny amount of money that you can get if you play it. I'm like, wait, why would they want to do that though? I'm like, So I don't know. Like, I just get lost in the moment. I'm like, fuck, I can't do it. Even chilling my own channel, which I believe, like, if you like me, you like the channel, so check it out. But even that's kind of like,
I could tell that was hard for you earlier. At the start, when you're like, you were kind of like, I have a YouTube and a Twitch.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't really want to say much more than that. But
I got it. Our guy James, we'll call the executive producer, Simon, filling in quite nicely for him today. He was like, here's a list of talking points. I was like, talking points. Yep, that's just what I do. That's
your job, yeah.
Yeah, right. And that's part of it. Like, I'm not brought on here for my poker analysis. You know, I don't bring that much. You're the likable
guy, you know. Nobody fucking gets rid of you. Whereas, like, I'm in and out. They're like, I don't know, should we get him back in? And then sometimes the chat's like, bring that guy back in. I like that guy. And then I come back in, I shit talk a bunch of people. They're like, all right, you're out again. I'm like, okay.
It's a roller coaster ride. I love it.
Yeah. Shill Trovo. Oh, yeah. Guys, if you could do me a big favor. See, this is fine. Could you guys go over to Jectus at trovo.com and give him a subscribe, follow, and donate if possible?
Okay, say that one more time.
Trovo.com at Jectus. Okay. So I don't mind chilling for the boys. Okay. Just not for me or not for a fucking.
You're good at chilling for others, just not for yourself. Now, part of the free roll shilling is because I know we get a lot of interest in that in the chat, you know? So just to try to get ahead of that a little bit. And in November, GG is giving away $5 million, a million to the Russian Cash Daily Leaderboard, 20K a day to the Spinning Gold Daily Leaderboard, the Hold'em Daily Leaderboard, and the Omaha Daily Leaderboard. Okay, sorry, I just thought that fit in well with
$5 million is not bad. If I was giving away $5 million, I could probably I'd be like, hey guys, do you know what? There's $5 million. You can get some of that. That's all right.
That's an easy one to read.
$10, you know, like I just don't want to fucking tell them, you know. I don't want them to waste their time trying to get the $10, but $5 million, guys, you know, buy a house. Not bad.
7s for Negreanu. Like, I'll be honest with you, there's a promo point that's talking about a 25-cent spinning gold ticket. I will not read that right now. Maybe I'll fit it in later.
No, I never say it, man. I believe in you.
Okay.
You've earned the right never to say it. It's fine.
Going to hold strong.
Okay, now let's see a 4-bet podcast. All right, I'm ready. We're done talking shit.
We're about due for one, right? I think we are due for a pretty sizable pot. Polk won the last big pot. But overall, just about even for the session.
Yeah, nothing too interesting. I was hoping for some swans today, but instead we saw some cautious river play with flushes from both players. That's the funny thing. The Doug one was probably more of a punt than the Daniel one.
Yesterday, Negreanu won more than $222,000 in session 7. Just absolutely on fire. And he gets there on the river on table 2 with the Queen Jack. Perhaps a little bit of run good has come Negreanu's way. Fires on table 1 for about $3,500.
I get lost in the chat sometimes. Like, you just think about like what makes these people tick, you know? And then I'm like, holy, wait, I got to do something else. I'm in too deep, you know.
Gotcha, Negreanu Jacks on table 1. Nathan in the chat says, Kaki is Jeff's devil's side. Don't do that. Be a rebel. Fight the man. I believe in you. Yeah, that's a fair assessment, I would say. H brings up an interesting point. I feel like Daniel is getting paid on a lot more big rivers. We certainly saw that yesterday with Polk over betting some rivers, which he has done, I think, throughout the entire feud. But Negreanu certainly picked a lot of those off yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to make a general guess as to why what Doug's doing is completely fine and why he continues to do it, like a lot of people are like, oh, why do you pay this guy off? He always has it. You know, like this is what a lot of people sort of stop by and say as an outsider to the match.
Yeah.
But if you pay a bit more attention, you notice that Daniel does not value bet the river enough. So when a guy does not have enough value hands, he may easily still be bluffing. Even though he might not bluff enough, the value to bluff ratio might still favor a call down now that he's not value betting enough hands on the river. So it could be printing as fuck to be making all these call downs like Doug is. It's hard to say. It's a tiny sample. They've barely played. Over the whole match, Daniel has some chance of winning. But if Doug's right and Daniel's like offering him great odds for these call downs that he's making, Daniel is drawing completely dead in this bet unless he changes his play. That's my 2 cents on that topic anyway.
Mentioned this earlier that our friends at Poker Shares had the odds at Negreanu plus 360 or so. That's bet 100, profit 360. That's as far as the overall feud is concerned, making Polk about a minus 475 favorite. You get any action there on Twitter, Kaki, after you had offered effectively plus 380 on Negreanu?
That's a great question, man. That's a great question. I'm going to guess that we didn't.
Okay. Negreanu 3 bets on table 2.
Ben Dowsett says, loving the commentary today. Great job.
Nice. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate that. 765, 2 diamonds. Eight of hearts on the turn. 14K in the pot.
We've actually seen quite a lot of these like 4 straight type of boards and re-raised pots, and they've often been pretty weirdly played hands. So I didn't quite catch this action. I'm guessing it was a, what size C-bet?
I believe.
C-bet, or was it a check raise? It's a 3-bet and a C-bet and a check.
Yeah, it's a 3-bet and then this super small 20% flop bet.
I think it was slightly larger than that. That's the weird thing, because usually bets super
14K.
small.
Yeah, you're right. It was 14K. There was
like
about 8,200 in the pot. Yeah.
It's kind of strange. Anyway,
a little bit more than 20%. King of Spades on the river with 23K in the pot. Polk firing almost $16,000.
With a set plus, I'm guessing, would be his value range here for that size.
And there
as the
is
nizzles.
That straight.
And Danny had some kind of auto call, so might have had a stronger hand than just one pair. Just based on the timing of the call. We don't know what he had, annoyingly. But it did seem like he had a pretty strong hand if he's snapping.
Emron in the chat, I appreciate the need for everyone who co-hosts with Jeff needing to have an intriguing accent. I mean, looking back, I guess you had Feraldo on Monday. Patrick on yesterday, Canadian accent-ish. No accents tomorrow when Brent Hanks and Amanda Negreanu will join me. 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time.
So they just got married, I'm guessing, because I feel like I haven't heard Amanda Negreanu being said very often until recently.
They got married in May of 2019. So right before the series last year was when they were married. But I think this is the first time she's like been on a poker stream, I guess. So she said, let's roll with Amanda Negreanu, formerly known as Amanda Leatherman.
Yeah, that's right. Amanda Leatherman was her name. Yeah.
What's the password for the free roll? Chad, excellent question. I'm so glad you asked. The password
Free Kaki
is...
That's the password.
It's battle, capital B. Battle, B-A-T-T-L-E. To get into the free roll that will award 5 $55 mega satellite tickets to the Battle of Malta $550 main event. 15 seats are guaranteed in that mega satellite.
Guys, it's a great tournament. You should totally fucking play it. You should listen to Jeff.
Look at Kaki.
So I start feeling bad for the co-host doing all the shilling. I'm like, man, that's got to suck. I gotta try and help this guy. Please use code Jeff, okay? Use code Jeff. Did a good fucking job.
There we go. I would appreciate that. And then tweet the same thing at GGPoker, all that good stuff that I've just hooked up.
GiveJeffAraise.com.
Yeah.
/Jectus.
Not opposed. Not opposed to it. So again, password battle. $555 mega satellite tickets to the Battle of Malta $550 main. That KakiTee will be playing in. He might just win a poker tournament.
Nobody wins tournaments, man. Just so you know.
Yeah, or...
Actually, I know a guy who won a tournament once. He won the Sunday Million, the Super Sunday Million, like the one that was like for infinite money.
Oh, that's a good one to win. I mean, if you're gonna win one.
Yeah. And then he punted it all away.
Did he really?
To the taxman.
Oh yeah, taxman can get you.
Taxman is a real cunt.
In all countries, it seems. He can sting you.
He gets around, yeah. He really just does whatever he wants. Oh, beautiful! There's another break. I was just thinking that DNegs hasn't been 3-betting and 4-betting enough.
Needed that banana break to get back in the mix. Yeah. You have one, or were you ready for?
I mean, I'm loaded up personally.
Okay,
one's enough for me.
Yeah, I think one's enough.
I'm ready to go. You can see by my eyes that I'm wide awake and I'm firing.
As you have said, you're all moved in, kind of, sort of, to Austria. You're hanging out in a Airbnb for now. What's the plan long term?
I don't really have one, man. I guess my like midterm plan is I'm gonna not play as much poker, even though I don't play shit all, but I'm gonna play even less than shit all. And then I'm gonna do some sort of shit on Twitch where I go up to chicks on the street and just try to talk to them and stuff, and do that with the boys. And improve that sort of skill, I guess, in life. I'm also gonna get jacked and get over the rim. I've been under the rim for too long, and I want to get over the rim.
How tall are you?
6'3", but I'm a fat piece of shit at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, it shouldn't be too hard for me to get over the old rim. These are my plans in life.
Okay.
Maybe play some PLO. Just throw that in there.
Sorry, this may be a super naive question. Is there any live poker in Austria?
Yeah, probably. It's not a huge. I'll probably play a tourney if there's one around. There's a couple casinos, like one's just over the border, in Croatia. Or is it in Czech? I can't remember. My geography is honestly not that good, but yeah, there's casinos around.
Okay, cool. Latest tally has Negreanu.
Noble plans, yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Negreanu up about $16,000 for the session, about 170K for the feud overall.
Some dude said 3 eyebrows, guys, right? It's like, am I the 3 where's the third eyebrow? One of us is, because of my mustache. Is that right?
Oh.
Maybe?
Oh, yeah, I don't get it. Now I'm trying to look at my eyebrows. See if there's...
How old are you, by the way, Jeff?
I am 34 years of age. Old. You're younger, right?
You're min-raising me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 17. Got it.
Yeah. I bought this mustache at the corner shop, for $5. I just wear it in November.
Nice. Negreanu 3 bets table 2. 944 rainbow. 8,200 in the pot.
All right, guys, quick. Percent of roll in Bitcoin in the chat. Go. Percent of roll. I'll go first.
I'll go second.
Mine's a semi-bluff. No, Jeff, 0%. Oh, 90. No.
I had
no, bro.
So I had probably 5% and then sold it last week.
Okay, well, that could be cool. But yeah, having just like, if you could recommend Bitcoin to anyone, you would just say like 1 to 5% of your net worth.
Which I think is smart. It's just,
hey, Michael Wilson.
Sometimes you run into some bad advice. Sometimes that bad advice is from a former World Series of Poker main event champion. I'm just saying.
You mean shitcoins? Yeah, everybody, tried to ride the shitcoin train, man.
No, I just mean on like, hey, you should actually sell off now. That was the advice.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, almost nobody has a good opinion on those kind of things. So yeah, I just learned you don't really listen to anyone. If you think it's a good thing, in terms of like a future, like 5-10 year investment, then buy it. If you don't think that, then maybe don't. But yeah, it's a hard time to buy. Anytime things are peaking, it's hard to buy. But I'll tell you this: I know a guy that's pretty smart dude, and he's long. So,
okay,
that's not a license to punt, boys. But I'm just saying
that's not quite the green light to punt. There's the overbet on the river by Polk on table 1. Queen 10 deuce 3 with 3 diamonds with ace 10. It's going to get paid off. Find some value on that river overbet.
Sky City, Auckland, yeah. There's a couple of nice employees, but it is a terribly run business. Yep.
Sky City.
Shout out my guy Frank, man. I like Frank. Sky City, Auckland. He's a chiller. He'd always swipe my card and give me free parking, man.
Nice. Respect that.
Yeah.
It's
just a good dude anyway, but yeah. Go on.
This new downtown place in Vegas that opened, Circa, fantastic establishment, really nice resort. And they charge for parking. And I just thought that was a weird PR move when you're opening up a new spot.
Just donk as fuck, in my opinion. But yeah.
When no other Vegas resort at this point charges for parking, not even the ones on the strip. So like, what are you doing?
Maybe there's like a classiness angle.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. But like, if you're a business, you want people in your fucking business,
Yes.
I don't want to go to your business if I have to pay for fucking parking. Like it's just like a principle thing for me.
Yeah, it's a principle turnoff.
Yeah.
Ooh, another river over bet from Polk that was picked off by Negreanu with the ace jack. Yeah, I just don't understand that logic, especially when you're just opening up. Like you said, just get people in the door at first.
Yeah. It's kind of up to us as the customer to not pay off this shit, you know?
Sure. And I do a terrible job as like giving them shit for it, but then still going there and parking there. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we all do. The convenience tends to outweigh the $5 in our wallet a lot of the time.
Right, exactly. Oh, Matthew in the chat says Caesar started charging again. Gotcha. You just got to degen a little, get that at least a platinum level card. You'll be good to go on parking there.
Yeah, well, that's the trap. Like now you fully paid them off.
Oh, right. You're falling into their trap.
Yeah.
Oh, Jose says all downtown charges for parking. It's the norm. Oh, apologize if I'm off there, but they certainly charge the most.
What you're waking up with here, Jeff, is just a realization that the world's continuing to get shitter. You know?
Yeah, very fair assessment.
Yeah. I really feel like it's an American thing as well. It's like businesses pushing for the maximum amount of profit that they can take.
Yeah.
Like the American dream is to become a successful business owner, but the way that businesses operate, it's like you don't pay your staff. The customer has to pay half their wage with tips, you know, so more money for the person who owns the business. The business is like, maybe they can like make some sort of parking arrangement, like private parking. If you don't pay, then your car gets towed. That's like, you know, another hustle play. There's heaps of things like that going on. Like you're supposed to tip if you win a tourney. I already paid rake. You know, there's like tons of little traps. You buy an NBA ticket, they play ads all throughout the game when you're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like, fuck you. You know, can I not just buy what I'm trying to buy for the price? Anyway, that's how it feels.
So you think America set that precedent?
Nah, but they just go the hardest on it.
Okay.
Seems to be. Anyway, this is a 75% c-bet on Danny loves it on the queen high boards 3-bet pot. Big c-bet, no turn barrel. The thing that's awkward about the big c-bet, especially on boards like this, is it's hard to have enough hands that have equity to shove a turn for like 1.5 times pot. When you like, because it's a queen high board. It's not like he's going to value shove pocket jacks or something. And then so he ends up checking the turn like almost every time, it seems.
Ronnie with 32K behind with 20K in the pot.
Should definitely be shoving here a bit.
Yeah, it does rip.
Snap fold from Doug. Okay.
Just fold.
Probably didn't have anything.
Question for you from Taylor in the chat. Hey, Kaki, love the commentary. Can you explain the solver you reference in your YouTube vids? Hopefully for someone who is totally new to solvers.
Well, that's probably a bit too long of a topic for here, unfortunately, but feel free to join my Discord and just ask.
There we go.
And I'll reply. You can find the link on my Twitch. All right, this guy says, stop throwing talk poker. All right, man. $1,800 pot. Guy checks. Okay. The
Ace
other
of
guy's
hearts,
thinking.
Queen of clubs.
Yeah.
8 of hearts.
Yeah, it's a good read. Checks it back. 4 of hearts on the turn. Flush is complete.
Nice.
Nobody has shit though because it's a tiny pot.
Oh.
Unfortunate. Min bet. Okay. Are you ready? Whoever wanted me to talk about this? Min bet into tiny pot. Call. 3 on the river. A brick.
Okay. What suit
Now
was
what?
the 3?
Spade.
Got it. Okay, keep going.
We're all sorted here.
You're crushing it.
A check on the river.
Wow.
A showdown.
Wow.
A rivered bottom pair defeats king high. Are you happy?
Oh my. That was good. I think you nailed it.
I feel like after that pot, we can just like talk shit for a while now. We're probably pretty safe.
Yeah, I'd say so. The action has certainly decreased when you compare yesterday's session to today.
Yeah, but the action in the commentary booth's been fucking great, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some action on table 1, too. Big check raise from Doug.
Ooh. Ah.
Negreanu lays it down. Yep, a lot of compliments for your play-by-play on that massive hand.
It was actually kind of an interesting hand, like just considering what they both had. But when a pot is not very large, it's hard to care, you know.
Certainly do. So Negreanu entered today up about $155,000 in the feud. Our latest tally has him up about $22K for the day, which would put him up almost $180,000 for the high stakes feud. PokerShare still has him at about a 4-1 underdog, a little bit less. KakiTee offering a better price. Hit him up on Twitter.
That's right. I don't really care. I don't expect people to give me the bet. I think it's just printing for me. And I'm not even a prop better, man. Like when I was younger, I did. These days, I don't know. I just don't want to be getting off on prop betting. It's kind of like doing drugs everywhere you go, you know? You always have something that can like give you like a little hit.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really check Bitcoin price. I'm checking it a bit recently because, you know, people are talking about it. It's kind of interesting. But in general, I just fucking ignore it. I don't want to be like, oh, you know, like, and some people even think like, oh, I just lost this much money. I just won this much. You really didn't, man. You know, if you're not selling, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a great point. Rick in the chat says 1K on DNegs at 8-1 this session. If you got that, you should keep going back to that bookie because PokerShares had Negreanu at plus 138 in this individual session.
YouTube chat's cool though. It's quite different to Twitch.
How so do you think?
More people are willing to go for like, you know, whatever they think. Whereas on Twitch, people are a little bit more like, there could be backlash, you know?
Yeah.
On YouTube, people think it's like nobody notices. So they just like start saying whatever they think. The funny thing is, like most people are logged in with their Google account, so you can just see who they are. Like,
right.
This fucking guy. And what did he say? Okay. Anyway, it's cool. It's fun.
I think so too. Sakshed asks us both if we're going to be in London anytime soon. I am not. I would love to come to London, but you know, it's hard to travel internationally nowadays.
It's not as bad as you think, actually.
Yeah, I traveled within the States. I was just assuming it's difficult internationally. Is it not that bad?
It was fine.
Okay.
You got to do a COVID test, and that's about it. You got to have a bunch of paperwork and shit. But yeah, it's all good.
Okay. Good. There's our guy, Party Poker partner Rob Young in the chat. Hello, good sir. Hope you are well as well. Misty on High Stakes Poker. Hope to bring back Rob's home game to the Poker Go studio. Speaking of high stakes.
I like that, Rob. I like that short-handed plow game with Aussie Matt and whoever was around. I think Leon. Like it was just like four dudes, and you could tell it was like 5 a.m. You know, and they'd been playing for like 12 hours and shit. That was good. That's the kind of shit you want to see on TV. Just dudes getting it in like every second hand.
That was awesome.
And reloading at like 5 a.m.
I think Party has shown a couple clips from that most recently because I watched one of those massive hands play out within the last day or so, but it's one of those clips that we've seen a ton because I think there are 900K or $1 million in the middle. To your point, these are guys who just want to get the chips in. I love it. Pot size bet from Polk.
Yeah.
It's almost 11K. River Jack.
Last time in this spot, he bet slightly smaller and he had it. That was the Jack 9 in the 3-bet pot. Feels like Danny's going to pay this one off. No?
Just lay it down.
Yeah, it's a pity that there's no hand histories in this challenge because it would be interesting to see like what the red line is in this match. For people who don't know what that reference is, it basically means who's winning more out of the two players with bluffing. It's a loose summary. It doesn't completely explain it, but over 25,000 hands, it would definitely show who was winning more by bluffing than the other player.
Pretty slow session overall. Kind of reminds us of Mondays, just as far as lack of big pots is concerned. I know plenty of that is just simple card distribution, but yesterday went pretty ham. There's a 3-bet from Polk on table 1. Negreanu makes the call, 8-6-4 rainbow.
Who do you think's been running better in this match, Jeff? Because Doug has been running good in EV dollars, but do you think that there's some sort of Daniel run good on the side, or do you think Doug is running better in the challenge?
I will have only really looked at that all-in EV that you've referenced, and so I would just naturally say Polk has run better, but I'm just so levels below this level of competition that I just it's just hard for me to guess.
No, just curious.
Yeah. But, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just assume that Doug's run worse because he's down a bunch, but that's just from the standpoint of expecting him to win. But that could just be warped as well. We have no idea what hands they had in spots. Negreanu could have made a bunch of good hero folds just randomly. And, he could have got value off Doug in a ton of spots, and he could have made, he could be playing super well. We just don't know without the whole cards. It does feel like he's getting run over a lot, though. So if one player is running the other one over a lot, it's going to be hard for that guy to win the match.
Sebastian in the chat says, hey, Kaki, have you ever played against Jeff on a table? I'll answer that one for him. The answer is going to be no there.
Unless you randomly played some ACR cash a few months ago.
It'd be no. There are some tournaments there, but that's it. And then you don't have to deal with the WSOP.com streets. All due respect to.
I mean, that's a great site, man. If you can play on that site, you can probably make a bunch of money.
Which one?
WSOP.com. Also, like Stars Philadelphia, or is it Stars Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, yeah.
That is from what I've seen, that is one of the best sites you can play on.
Interesting. For PLO cash, you mean? Or just
I'm not sure about. I've seen some graphs, and the site's like insanely soft. Gotcha. Like people are winning huge amounts of money. But I don't think they offer particularly high stakes. But if you play like lower and upper, like low mid stakes or small stakes, like it's probably one of the best sites ever.
The check raise from Negreanu on table 1 as the 8 of clubs pops up on the turn. Polk makes the call. Ace of spades on the river. Negreanu firing 7K. Polk makes the call. Negreanu did river an ace. The two-way straight draw spikes the ace on the river. Gets a little bit of value.
You could see Doug tanking. He's probably just thinking, motherfucker, he's going to have it again. I'm going to call, though. And then he just like sees it. It's like, for fuck's sake. I know that feeling. You got to keep on calling, man.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. Jay Dooley says, isn't DNeg winning? I don't get the EV thing. Yeah, so the EV thing, basically, what all-in EV is, it's just every time that there's an all-in, you have a certain percent to win the pot. So if there's 100K in the pot and you have 80% to win, 80K of that is your all-in EV. If you lose it, you would be running bad. You'd be running like minus 80K or whatever. You get what I'm saying? So on a graph, anyway, long story short, Daniel Negreanu is actually running badly, but he's still winning. So it's like he should actually be up even more money, like if the all-in EV was even. So what we're talking about is that sense of luck where Daniel Negreanu is doing poorly versus like the sense of luck of just flopping a set or a straight in a 3-bet pot and his opponent just having something that's drawing dead and paying him off. So there's two kinds of like variance in the game. Obviously, the longer you play, the more these things even out.
Moonlight Master had put together little all-in EV table for us entering this week of play. I did say Negreanu was down about $184,000 or below EV in all-ins. To Kaki's point, as Negreanu leads for 9K on table 2.
Do you reckon Doug will just fold a queen now?
Nope.
Oh, he
shoves, and Negreanu snaps him off with quad aces against the rivered flush of Doug Polk.
See, boys, this is why you don't raise the river with flushes, right? Because people have quads. They played it tight all day. Everybody just check calling with their flushes. Finally, Doug decided, I got to get some value. It was the wrong time.
Doug calling the 3-bet pre-flopping the flush draw as Negreanu flop top set. Parries quads on the turn. It goes check, check. Polk thinks that he gets there on the river. Negreanu leads 9K the shove for about 40, 1K effective. Oh my. The second time Negreanu has had quads this week that we've seen. And Doug Polk is sitting out.
The other one was 10s, right? I saw that. Wow, Doug is sitting out. Wow.
That's the first time I've seen Doug click sit out before Negreanu.
To be fair, guys, I think it's much more likely he's taking a piss than he's like,
right. I completely agree there.
How does he have it again?
The timing is maybe it's a bit of a
he
tilt.
He picks up his keyboard, he fucking slams it down on the table.
Yeah.
Fucking fish has quads again. No, I think he's just taking a piss or whatever.
So there we go. Quite the spike there for Daniel Negreanu. Quite the pot there as he extends his lead, not only in the session, but in the feud overall. We passed the 10% mark. We passed the 3,000 hand mark. We're at about 3250, 3300 hands or so.
Yeah, I think if Daniel is up like 15, 20 buy-ins and 5K hands have passed, I think the boys betting against him are going to start sweating. This isn't like...
Okay, that's the point that it has to get, you think, for the...
Yeah, it needs to be getting a little bit deeper into the match, and the amount of buy-ins needs to be, something. I think at this point, like, all is still well. Like, people are going to start, like, accepting bets and, doing 3-to-1, Stuff like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, still at this point, a long way to go.
Diana Sempertegui. I'm not a Doug fan at all, for what it's worth. I would rather Daniel wins. But in this sort of Reg v Fish scenario, I'm just trying to tell it like it is, or at least how I see it.
Sounds good to me. For those of you brand new to this is a 25,000 hand heads up challenge. They call it the high stakes feud between Daniel Negreanu and Doug Polk. We're playing 2 tables of 200, 400 heads up, no limit Texas Hold'em on WSOP.com. See Negreanu check raise, Polk folds on table 1. Polk the slight overbet on table 2. Negreanu folds to. Plan overall in the feud is to play 25,000 hands. There's an opt-out after 12,500 for the losing player. Don't expect that opt-out to take place on either side, but you never know.
I mean, there's got to be some chance Daniel takes it. The fact that he's ahead right now means it's kind of hard for him to be stuck 2 million plus at that halfway mark. It's definitely a challenge for him to get that stuck, but it's still possible. But I do feel like he's not going to quit. That might have been one of the best bets you could have taken. Like if you were in there looking for some value to bet on, the best bet might have been whether Danny quits or not at the 12-5 mark at the start of the challenge. I don't know what the odds are now.
Yeah,
I imagine they're pretty bad. But at the start of the challenge, I remember it was a good bet. Like it was worth thinking about. Like you might have got a 50% profit on your bet or something like that.
If you had Negreanu to win more than $120,000 in yesterday's session, you were paid out at about 7-1 on poker shares.
I feel like any of those kind of bets, you're never going to have edge.
Yeah.
Like those day-to-day bets, they're going to farm the shit out of people.
A lot of variance. Day-to-day action. Doug Polk, the minus 156 favorite for today's session only. Bet 156 to 100. Or you could bet him by the spread. Polk favored by $25,000 today. Our latest tally has Negreanu up about 67K.
Okay. So that puts him at like what, 220 for the match?
Yeah.
Okay.
220 for the match. 5.5 buy-ins. Buy-in for this is $40,000. You'll see if a player gets down to less than 40K, they'll top off before the next hand to get back to that 40K mark.
What do you reckon, Jeff? Do you think they'll play extra time today? You've kind of got a good feeling for them.
Yeah, I don't. I would be surprised if they went long today. Even if they went longer today, I would be surprised if they didn't.
Is that because of the session tomorrow, or
I think it's a combination of going long Monday, going long yesterday, preparing for a long session tomorrow before the weekend, as Negreanu had flopped a set of threes. It's a little value there. And yesterday Negreanu told us that he did not expect to go long today.
Okay.
But when you have quad aces, you might be feeling good about life, feeling good about poker. Might want to extend a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Rob in the chat says, if DNegs wins, online poker is broken, live players are loaded. All the live players firing off on DNegs. Rob, did you have some action on this one?
Yeah, if you think about how the betting works, at least how the line gets pushed, it is basically like your classic live Daniel fan who would be betting on him. Yeah. And then everybody else is just like, oh, what price can I get on Doug? Because they figure he'll win.
Right.
They also figure that there's quite a solid chance that he wins, being a strong heads-up player in the past against a guy who's never played the format. Shit. Daniel's definitely doing better than expected, though. Like if you consider those two factors, Doug used to be considered number one heads-up player for a decent period of time, like I believe around 2 years. Daniel Negreanu has literally never played the format, like in any serious capacity. So he's doing really well considering that. See, I don't always shit talk people, man. There you go. That's something nice to say about DNegs.
And look at it from the perspective of super casual poker fan. Not that they're scouring the market for odds, but if they were to see Daniel Negreanu, who is just kind of on the map as far as poker is concerned, against somebody with Negreanu getting 4-1, 5-1 odds, they're just always they're always going to click on at that point.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with these kind of markets, like free markets in general, is just you can really just hustle people because they like a guy,
Yeah.
Or you hustle like your local citizens because they like their team.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being able to bet, but I do feel like too much money is getting taken away from the people betting it by the companies providing the service.
Like
when realistically,
in the middle.
Yeah, there could just be a free market where people offer directly to each other without all these enormous fees and stuff like that. But hey, I dream of this utopia, peer-to-peer utopia. Rob chucked a cheeky comment in there, and he said that he had a bet on DNegs based on 8 BB per 100. So I think Doug has to win at more than 8 BB per 100. It sounds like it would be an even money bet if that's the case. That's a close one. Yeah, that's a close little line there. I would actually bet against that, but Rob probably feels quite good since DNegs is up a bit and the challenge is over 10% through. So
certainly a good start overall to said challenge for Daniel Negreanu. Saw a couple tweets last night from Doug Polk after he was responding to Dan Bilzerian talking a little shit. But Polk ended his tweets with, "Don't get it twisted. I'm going to win the challenge. Remember this tweet."
He's really setting himself up to just for this neg free roll.
Yeah.
You know, if he loses this match and he's got a tweet saying, "Remember this tweet," and he's also the massive favorite and he's got infinite side action, like the dude's career is just straight in the toilet and it's already flushing. Like, he's done, man. I really hope that happens. That would be awesome. That would be hilarious. I would love to see DNegs interview post beating Doug in this match. That would just be funny as fuck. I think he'd be humble about it too, because they've gone like down the nice guy route.
Yeah, he would.
I would way rather see him talking him like, he tries to do this, he tries to do that. I play him his way. I beat his ass. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to happen at all, regardless. But I would love to see it.
Yeah, KakiTee in the chat, exactly what I'm talking about. Jeff is right in a sense. Think how many people bet on McGregor versus Mayweather, even though he had no chance. Not that DNegs doesn't have a shot, but casual fans will bet on his name value alone.
My poor punting casual betting fish. I just want to protect them so that I can rake them in my own home game.
Yeah, they need some protection.
But I charge less rake. I'm a friendly raker.
We had mentioned the Super High Roller Bowl a couple years ago. Doug Polk wore that more rake is better shirt. We asked Negreanu about that a couple weeks ago for the live broadcast, and you might have seen it in the promo video, but Negreanu said he came in to Super High Roller Bowl wearing a t-shirt. I came in to fucking destroy him.
Yeah.
They did.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff you want to see, like people say on TV, but like practically. Like whatever with the t-shirt, like who cares? But like you can't be that confident just because you won one coin flip, you know? And that's basically what he's saying.
For sure. And that's what Polk said. He's like, you know, it's poker. I'm never saying that I'm going to win every single hand. You're going to have your highlights. I'm going to have mine. Somebody in the chat, sorry I missed, who asked about amount of hands played per session. They've been averaging in the like 360 to 420 range when they've just been playing 2 hours. Now Monday they went very long. They played 637 hands. Wednesday they played 591 hands. I guess that was yesterday.
Do you think that you said 420 like with absolutely no subconscious influence?
Yes, just because I was looking at the 420 number on my screen. So it's a good question, but yes, I think I said that.
I think you have it, and I'm now willing to fold. So thank you for answering.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, 69 to 420, roughly, approximately 350 last session. 1337 for the longer session that they'll play, obviously. That's all the info about the hands, guys.
Negreanu won a pretty big pot on table number 1. His nice run continues. Might be freezing up for us a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what up with that. That we just missed a 3-bet pot result because of that. I'm sorry about that, dude.
But most big pots have
blame
headed
the
in
software.
the direction
It's the software, guys. It's the WSOP software, right? It has nothing to do with the streaming.
AG in the chat, I've liked and commented every single video with my username and still no ticket. Does Has anybody actually received something? Yeah, we had some talk in the chat earlier today and yesterday about getting the tickets. If you like, you subscribe, you comment. I'm not sure the specifics, so I won't dive into full promo mode. As Polka Trip 9s.
It called a bluff, it looked like. Hey, Rob, if you're still hanging around, I got a question for you, man. Have you checked out the other coverage, and what do you think comparatively of the people who've been commentating and whatnot? Any opinions on that? I would have felt like maybe you would like the Joey Ingram cast, but that's just a random guess.
Have you watched any of the other streams?
All terrible, in my opinion.
Yeah. Are there just those two other ones mainly for the most part, Upswing and Joey?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe some other people are doing. These are the big ones.
Okay.
But there might be some other people doing smaller ones.
Gotcha. Amaz, I do play a little bit of poker, but mostly a broadcaster, and really just play tournaments. Rob, I'm waiting for the Millions tour to come back. Jason, who's your favorite NFL team? I think that was the question, and just whoever I fired on for that evening. Okay, so perhaps a little bit more freezing. Perhaps we are done for the. Nope, we definitely are not done for the day.
Yeah, every single time I'm on the stream, there's technical difficulties. All right, it has something to do with me, guys. I don't know what it is.
So you're taking blame for this one?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
They're gonna fire me anyway for all the comments. So I might as well have fucked the stream up too. I'll save the job of whoever actually fucked it up, you know. And he'll be like, that guy was alright actually. A lot of people gave him shit, but you know what? He was okay.
Thank you, Rob, for the kind words. He did respond to your question. Said he hasn't seen Joey's, but he says I think this one is better, to be honest. So thank you all for the kind words. They are much appreciated. We thank you all for being here. I'm Jeff Platt. He's KakiTee. You can find his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/KakiTee. See, I'll do the promo work for you, so you don't have to feel uncomfortable as far as promoting your own channel. He's also part of that GG squad. We have Saturday sessions with that GG squad, #squad session. We also have the WSOP main event coming up soon on GG, just 10 days away from day 1A of the $10,000 freeze out.
Wonder what Rob from Party Poker thinks about this second main event. There's a bit of drama. Yeah, Rob, fire off, man. What do you reckon? Second 10K. Tilted? I'm just curious. I don't think his opinion's really going to be too influenced by the Party Poker relationship. I just wonder what he thinks as like somebody who could have chosen to try and do something like that himself. What he thinks about it.
Says he does like this WSOP format. That format features an international tournament hosted by GGPoker and a domestic one here in the States hosted by WSOP.com. Both will have their separate tournaments. They'll play down to a final table of 9. The international version will head to King's Casino on December 15th. The American tournament will head to the Rio All Suite Hotel and Casino in Vegas on December 28th. They'll each play down to a winner. The winners will meet on December 30th on ESPN with $1 million awarded to the winner. Added to the prize pool by Caesars.
Yeah, I mean, a free $1 million is always going to be pretty good for the players.
Right. And I just think good overall for the game to take advantage of that ESPN deal that they do have to get that kind of exposure, I think is really important to the game. So I'm just happy that they're trying to do something. Are there some flaws? Absolutely. But at least the thought process was there to, hey, we got to let's get on ESPN for sure. It's not a profitable venture, talking about this tournament specifically.
There's a pretty big pot on the right table.
Yeah.
I just get snap check back.
Just check.
Give up with the river
Aces for
7
Polk.
diamond. Pretty standard give up.
As Rob says, so to be fair to the series, it was always planned to do this. Not a rate grab.
Yeah, it definitely feels that
reaction.
way from the casual fans' perspective. It's like, wait, didn't we have a main event? Why is there another one? But like, if you like free money, there's $1 million free roll involved in the World Series main. It's kind of cool.
And I also will say, to WSOP's credit, not to just keep enhancing that shill roll that I've been in throughout the course of the day. We did the commentary for the WSOP online main event, the 5K that GG hosted, and they got in our ear effectively. They called the studio because I was referring to it as the WSOP main event too often. They wanted to refer to it as the online main event. So they've left the door open this entire time, to Rob's point, of having a 10K World Series of Poker main event.
Yeah, so I guess what was planned, guys, is most likely they were hoping the COVID bullshit would just be done later in the year, and they would have the normal main in Vegas. That wasn't happening. Did they want to still do the tourney? Well, they've had one every year since whenever the fuck, so they might as well. Yeah. I mean, if they're going to chuck in the $3 million to like make you feel a bit better about it, like I think that's a fine compromise.
Negreanu wins a 30K pot on table 2.
He gets the snap fold. High stakes poker reboot. I think it won't be the same without Gabe, but the players, man. I mean, you got Ivy, you got Durr, you got some whales. Like, it's going to be good, man. It would be nice to have Gabe. I think we all could agree on that point. Who was pointing this out? Yeah, it was Simon was saying today. He's like, how old do you guys think Gabe Kaplan is? Just fire off in the chat. No Googling.
Yeah, don't answer it yet, and don't Google.
Just
legendary Gabe Kaplan.
Current age Gabe Kaplan.
Yeah, I think to your point, I think you all can expect some real entertainment from high stakes poker with Ivy and Dwan, Jason Kuhn, Phil Hellmuth in the mix, Rick Solomon.
Phil Hellmuth in the mix.
Yeah,
really?
He is.
Okay.
Rob, whenever you put Rick Solomon in a high stakes cash game, you're bound for some wild pots.
69 was the best answer, but the correct answer was 75.
75. It's a 3-bet from Negreanu on table 2. And he is still sharp, somebody in the chat mentioned. Josh Norris says, I hope Ivy and Durr get at it again. Yeah, trust me, they certainly do.
I feel like they've both chilled, man.
Yeah.
I think they're both, they've done what I did. They went from just spewing to chilling,
Okay.
I think Ivy also lost the ability to always be correct with 5-2 offsuit and whatnot, which is sad, man, because that was what we loved about Ivy. Definitely the greatest player of all time, in my opinion. And most people would probably give him that title. If not, like maybe some people think that about Doyle. That's a fair thing to think. But for me, Ivy, he's the Jordan. Maybe Doyle's like, Wilt.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Good comparison. Ivy does say that, and this is good news for poker fans everywhere, that he is back. He's ready to go. I mean, especially when live poker comes back, cash games, tournaments, put him in everything. He'll be camping out at the Poker Go studio. He'll be ready to go. Rob says Rick Solomon, probably the biggest ever winner in poker. I mean, the guy plays in the highest of stakes. It seems to do very well. Got to get Kevin Hart to Party Poker Global Ambassador in that next Rob's home game, I would say.
Yeah, Rob says that Ivy's not nice to play against, like he's always staring you down. And I got to admit, like some of these people take it too far with the stare downs. Like they stare down like full contact, like the entire, like no fish wants to sit there and fucking endure this crap,
Right. It's a bad
it's like, fine,
experience for
man.
the
Like
amateur
you
player.
just printed $1 an hour by like increasing your eye staring edge. Congratulations, bro.
Right.
I counter it with a scarf, a hat, and glasses. Welcome to the fucking game, you know? It's total horseshit. What else was I going to say about that? Anyway, whatever. You guys get the point. This is my first time commentating. Nah, but I haven't done too much.
As Pat in the chat asked, no more free rolls today. We'll be back at it with the free rolls tomorrow. That is when Bren Hanks and Amanda Negreanu will join me, a Friday Night Poker reboot of sorts. Looking forward to have Amanda back on a poker stream. Brent, meh.
Is he like a good mate of yours or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the only person you would ever diss has to be a good mate.
Fair. So we are past the 2-hour mark. I guess they did decide to extend. My prediction was certainly off on this one. Latest tallies have Negreanu up about 72K for the session. So up about 230K for the overall high stakes feud.
Yeah, and 101 Fonzie. He makes me feel like a bit of a fool, actually. He says Stu Ungar, the GOAT. And I actually just forgot about Stu Ungar for a second. Because I guess we never really saw him play. Like, you know, the people who came in like around Moneymaker. I personally came in around the Joe Hashem time. Like, that was a big deal in Australia, him winning that main event.
Sure, yeah. And Unger was certainly the best player during his time. I mean, I don't think anybody could possibly question that.
Yeah, like the first reg. He was basically the first reg.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the Matrix, that was the first one and you don't really know anything about him, and then Neo's the one. Like, he's the original one, Stu Unger. And there's actually quite a good film about his life. I don't know how accurate it is. I'm not sure the title. Someone will probably chuck in the chat, but if you type like Stu Unger film, you'll probably find it. And if you haven't seen it, definitely worth a watch. One of the better poker films, I think.
What do you think of Molly's game? You see that?
I actually didn't see that.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I did. Maybe I saw it on a plane or something. I don't know.
That was solid, considering what we've been stuck with as far as poker movies are concerned, you know, in the last.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite poker movies is actually just that James Bond movie where he's got like the Strizzy Flizzy against like whatever, just a bunch of the second nuts hands and stupid
Casino
shit.
Royale.
Like, that's what poker's like, right? That's what you want to do. You want to go in wearing like fucking tuxedo and sit down, a bunch of hotties everywhere, people getting trashed, like playing craps. You sit down, you're like, oh, I have a straight flush. I'm all in for like everything. And somebody's like, oh, I raise you my house and car. And you're like, call. And then they have a higher straight flush. You're like, this is rigged.
Yeah. Somebody else had quads. 3-bet pots on both tables here. Negreanu bet small on the flop on table 1. Polk called. Negreanu bet small again on the turn.
Yeah, these plays are interesting.
$17K in the pot. Negreanu checks river.
Oh dear.
Ooh. Negreanu spiked that 7 on the river. Does go check. Negreanu takes down that pot.
It's a confident barrel with the 6-7 of diamonds there. Blocking floats and unblocking the ace. It seems like an atrocious 2-barrel, but I could be wrong.
Over to table 2, where Polk 3-bet pre. King of diamonds on the turn.
Nice one, Alex. Yeah, that's the design. We just ignore the poker and we just talk shit.
Not even watching action. Oh yeah, we'll take that.
Look, Alex, we'll ignore this 15K pot for you, all right, man? Just who cares what happens, okay?
Saxworth, how long before you admit DNegs is improving? I think you've admitted that in a sense, yeah.
I think he did better than I expected. I haven't seen active
coming in, he did. Okay, gotcha. My bad.
But we don't see their whole cards, so it's really
right.
You just can't have an opinion on active improvement. You just see some stuff like river play that just seems wrong. Got an interesting one here though.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a bet 3-bet, if I'm not mistaken.
It is
on the river.
Polk makes it 17K.
I'm assuming Danny just has 0% of 7, 8, and 3, 4 here, which is interesting that Polk doesn't make it like completely massive. Like ripping here like takes full advantage of DNegs' inability to have 3, 4, and 7, 8. And yeah,
there's 7, 8 for Polk.
Yeah, he kind of goes small, like if you consider that he can be ripping. But you know, he probably just doesn't want to get a fold, so it's understandable.
Rob says, if I'm DNegs, I quit now. I book a win and I let people post more broken down trucks on Twitter.
Yeah, I definitely agree that taking the wins, just taking the short sessions is a good play. It gives him the most time to review hands. He has like a team of people, right, that he's hired to work with him on this. They're taking it super fucking seriously. I don't know why he wants to just like punt in a bunch of extra hands when he could be trying to improve like in between the sessions. Because if you think about like how improvement works in poker, it's kind of asymptotic. If you know what that means, it's like you gain skill very quickly. Like you go from not knowing that 2-pair beats a pair to being like, you know, understanding, oh, I should open with these hands and like this is a good hand to 3-bet. Like your ability to improve is a lot faster earlier on, and then it sort of plateaus off. So since he has more improving to do than Doug, any opportunity for them to both study benefits him more. So yeah, I think it's a punt not to play the min every session and try to play every hand as well as you can instead of playing quite quickly, which he tends to.
It's probably a tough balance, right? Because he probably does feel more comfortable at this point. So I think that natural desire of sorts probably says, oh, let's keep playing. Let's keep going.
Yeah. I mean, and like he is just a regular dude like all of us. And that's why he's well liked by a lot of the poker fans. Because he is just like that. He's just like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's going all right. I'm going to keep playing. Whereas realistically, it's like probably some sort of large amount of dollars EV punt to do that. And it's not costing just him money, but like infinite people that have bet on this match money, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Dave Cullen in the chat looking forward to Mrs. Negreanu being on tomorrow night. She is cool and a straight talker. That's right. She will join us tomorrow. And then I think this was maybe planned to be a surprise, but then Doug spoiled it on Twitter. So we are planning to have Doug Polk join us immediately after the session is over tomorrow. And then after we talk to Doug, he'll jump off, and then Negreanu will jump on for his standard post-match interview.
I think that was a secret, by the way.
It was, but then Polk tweeted about it.
Ah.
So I feel like the secret was,
very good. What did he say in that tweet? Do you happen to recall?
I think he wasn't particularly thrilled that he like thought he was being set up with Amanda, and he was kind of joking. And Amanda's, I don't think is going to be on the stream at the same time as Doug.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel pretty bad like shit talking like a dude to their wife. Like it.
Right. No, that is not. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, how does it not happen though?
No, because Amanda's not going to be on when Polk is. 26K in the pot on table 1. Negreanu takes it down with 9s.
That was a healthy value bet. I'm pretty sure. Like, very healthy. It worked out perfectly for the Danny. I predict a quit within 1 minute now to celebrate the victory of that turn value bet.
Okay.
He's going to go out on a high note. Yeah, I just fucked that guy up. I'm going to sit up. I just fucking destroyed that guy. If he quits within 1 minute, boys, that's exactly what he was thinking, right?
DNegs fires 2,800 on the turn. 9 of hearts on table 2. Polk makes it 18K. Oh, there she is, Amanda Negreanu. In the chat. Says, bring it.
Message automatically deleted. Nice one. Oh, what? How does that get deleted? What the fuck? It's not even bad at all. YouTube's pretty fucking cuck, man. Like, they're scared. They don't let anyone say anything.
40
Meanwhile,
infinite in money pot. Another queen. It goes check, check. Ooh, as Polk had turned the flush. Negreanu had turned the straight. The river slows them both down. Polk still takes down a nice pot.
Should we trash talk the flush check on river? I feel like this one was a bit more acceptable.
Sure. So you can tell the comments that get deleted, you can bring them back up?
You just click them. Oh, maybe you can't.
Right. You're probably, got the GG squad power.
Yeah, if you someone could just make you mod. They're probably listening to this comment and they can do it.
All good. Just curious.
Yeah, Paul, I think none of us have been paying attention to the poker, unfortunately. Sometimes we tune in on the river. It's like, all right, 50K
right,
pot
we turn
here.
in on the big pot.
This is interesting. I have no idea what just happened, but it's probably pretty good.
Pat in the chat, would a DNegs win after 25,000 hands be a bigger upset than #1 Virginia's loss when they lost to the 16 seed in the NCAA tournament? No, the Virginia loss would be still a significantly bigger upset. I want to say money line, they were probably, that 16 seed was probably like 23-1 or something. And Negreanu was 5-ish to 1, 4 or 5-ish to 1 entering the overall feud. It's kings for Polk.
Danny. Oh, I don't know if that's a 1 minute quitter. I don't know. It's a little bit slow. He quit more on a loss of the 7s bluff than anything else, but okay.
Okay, we will find out soon enough if that is a break, whether it be bathroom break or banana break, or if the session is over. And if that is the case, then Daniel Negreanu will join us for a couple minutes to wrap up his session like he usually does with our exclusive post-match interview here on GGPoker's YouTube channel. It's ggpoker.tv. We know the action will at the very least continue tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. I believe that's 10:30 p.m. UTC. Our latest tally, and that was before the last couple pots, has Negreanu up about 100K for the session, which puts him up about 257K.
6.5 buy-ins for Le Match.
And not many big pots throughout the course of today's play. Yeah? I'm not overthinking that, am I?
Well, we had the I'd say the most noteworthy pot was the quads against the king high flush.
Yeah.
That pot was slightly under 100K.
Certainly the standout pot. And they are gone from the table. So we do believe that their day is done. So any minute now, Daniel Negreanu will join us. Just like we've been playing it the first couple days, I'll ask a couple of sideline reporter-ish questions to him, and then I'll let Kaki take over as far as the poker specifics are concerned?
Yeah, I had one question. I wanted to know what he had in this hand where, I don't know if you remember this, but he like raised a river pretty large and Doug jammed for like a min raise and he folded. He like tank folded.
Okay.
But I just don't think it's a fair question. I don't think he should say what he had because like, if he says, it was a particular type of hand, that would be a lot of information to show his opponent. So I've got a good question for him. We'll just sort of see where that one takes us.
Okay. So our final results from this session, Daniel Negreanu up in session 8, $111,600. Daniel Negreanu up in the high stakes feud, $266,800. So it was quite the day for Daniel Negreanu. Once again, remember, he had just won $222K yesterday, and we will be sure to double check the numbers. I know a lot of you guys in the chat seem to disagree with those, but remember, with all the buy-ins and you got to top off back to 40K, that it's we're not just taking the numbers right from the very end as far as the amount of money that was in their stacks.
I don't know how the rake works either, guys. Like, I'm not sure if we're putting the rake back in. I know that they get 100% rake back, so it's like an unraked event. But I don't know if that goes onto the tally that they're recording or not. So it's kind of complicated.
I get what you are saying. And Negreanu on the Zoom call right now. And there he is. This just such a smooth transition, by the way, as Daniel Negreanu joins us for his exclusive post-match interview. So Daniel, another positive session. Your overall thoughts on these last 2.5 hours or so?
It was a good battle. A little bit of back and forth. Was able to make some hands here, miss some hands here. I got unlucky in a couple spots, but listen, it goes both ways, right? And he got unlucky in some spots too. So overall, I guess I'm happy to come out on top. But love you, babe. You're going where? Okay, all right. That's my wife. Obviously I'm happy to log another 450 hands or so and come out ahead and strengthen the lead. I thought I played well. That's that's all I got for you in that regard.
After such a good session yesterday, when you sit down to play, do you just automatically feel more confident?
I don't know if that's true, because so obviously, he's looking at what happened in the last match. He's going to watch it. He's going to be like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So maybe there's some, I don't know if that's how he thinks or not. Honestly, I don't really know. But, typically what we do is we look at the match. We look at some things that I can improve on or do differently. When he's throwing new stuff at us, like he did in the last match and this one, figuring out ways, what's the best counter, for some of the stuff he's doing. So felt really comfortable adding some new tools to the repertoire as we go. And I just feel a lot more confident in general when I'm playing every pot, and that I know exactly what I'm doing and, all that stuff.
We are, just FYI for everybody watching, we are going to get an updated total. The update that we previously had was incorrect. So we'll get that to you hopefully before Daniel goes. And I know you've touched on this before, but since it popped up in the chat so much, 2 hours into a session, what goes through your mind? What process do you go through when deciding whether to continue in the match?
Yeah, so 2 hours is typically my check-in point. And at 2 hours, if I feel like things are not going my way, or I feel like maybe there's some spots I'm not sure about, or I don't really like the way that the game is going, I'll usually, I have been quitting red on the nose. Lately, we've been trying to put more volume in. The goal, I think, this week for me was at least to put in 2,000 hands. We played 3 sessions, 13. Mm-hmm. We're almost there. So tomorrow we'll surpass the 2,000 hand mark. And hopefully tomorrow we can play a longer session. But yeah, we're right near the end there. I lost 2 pots and, you started to get me, if you will. So I felt like it was a good time to move on.
Got it. Kaki, I'll turn it over to you. But first, let me read our updated total again, approximate numbers here. We have Daniel up $21,600 for the session, which puts him up about $177,000 overall for the high.
Is that right, Daniel? Did you only win 20K? I thought you won more.
Well, on my end, I think it turns out to about 23, but okay. Obviously after his end and the rake, we have sort of a middle in that regard.
Kaki, I'll turn it over to you if you have any questions for Daniel.
Yeah, well, if you don't mind, Daniel, with this recent Twitter thing, there was Bill, there was you, there was some confusion. I'm not sure if you did any public statement about that on video, but if you wouldn't mind, just for the boys who are like, what was that shit? Also,
for sure. I think we covered on
Dankness, aka Will Jaffe's little video to Bill. And what did you think about that too?
Yeah, I think he's funny actually. I mean, I don't care if he needles me; it's fine. Like I can take a joke. But as far as the whole thing, it was blown out of proportion. Perky's gonna perky, and Perky just like the way he delivers information is always like, "Oh my god, wet pasta all over again." I'm like, no. So this is exactly what happened. What happened was, we noticed, he made some adjustments in some spots. So we figured we'd reach out and we asked because we want to know what the rules are in terms of what's available. Because with WSOP and the regulation, we were unclear. We saw like section 7.3E said, you cannot accumulate, congregate, aggregate data or in any way, right? Or at least that's what we thought. So my guys have like incredibly high integrity, like incredibly. Because I said to them in the beginning, I'm like, why don't we, get somebody to check the frequency? And they said, absolutely not. They were under the impression that we couldn't do that, right? So Doug let me know. He said, total transparency. He didn't do anything wrong. Total transparency. He said, I've been manually tracking some of the frequencies, basically. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't think that was allowed. I wasn't sure. So I went to my guys, and then we just, we thought it would be worthwhile to bring in Fel Gelf on to get a clear idea of what is the line, right? Because it's so unclear, right? But obviously, so the line we've decided on, agreeable, is no transcribing hand histories into text that can be put into into like a database. But as far as like having Amanda count how many C bets he did, we can do that. If he wants to have a couple of people do that for him, he can do that. Because I feel like it's a gray area that's unpoliceable. So why not
just... If mate just says, hey bro, I counted all that shit, here you go. What are you gonna do? Just not look at it? Ignore it?
Right, so that's the thing. It's like, because it's unpoliceable, I said like, well, listen, every online match in history has always had data, right, where you can look and see what you can improve or what your opponents are doing. So this one shouldn't be any different in that regard. And we were just very careful, as I said, because my crew is like, their integrity matters immensely to them. We wanted to make sure that we were not in any way, shape, or form breaking the terms of service.
I got another question for you, man. Just like a random flashback. So before this match starts, there's some back and forth crap on Twitter going on. Just whatever, right? It's just a bit of shit talking. And then a video comes out. Was this video, and specifically the dildo part in the throat, what triggered you to play this match? Because that shit would have fucked me off.
I actually thought it was funny. I mean, like, I thought it was good. Like, it was pretty damn funny.
Like, dildo down the throat's not too good.
Well, it's just weird when if you take this position of being a holier than thou progressive, right? But then you're mocking homosexuality, but then you don't like it. It's just weird. That part is weird. Like, what's your line? I don't care. Listen, it's to me, like, I can laugh at myself. I'm not PC. I don't believe in canceling and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't care that much about the video. I actually laughed. I watched it several times and I thought it was actually quite funny because, you're making fun of all my tirades and everything else. But that wasn't the impetus for the match. The impetus was like as simple as, he threw out a challenge and I was like, all right, we're locked down. I got nothing else to do here. Might as well learn how to play heads up poker from the best. And I'm doing that. I'm learning from, the best possible sources are teaching me to develop a strategy that's going to win this match. And I'm more and more confident in what they're teaching me every single day. Like if I look back at the first week when I was playing this match, I'm like, lots of dumb mistakes. Now, the review sessions are faster because, we're making fewer and fewer mistakes.
How has that team been judging your play? Sorry, Kaki.
No, you're right, man.
What was the question, Jeff?
How has that team been judging your play? How have they been, grading you so far?
Well, I'm going to tell you harshly because they have high expectations for me. They know what I'm capable of. They know how I can download information. So there's no excuses for dumb mistakes, Like I knew I made one yesterday in the session. I was like, oh boy, I'm going to have to explain this one. I know I messed it up, but I appreciate that. I think I got a B+. What they do is, because everyone's like, well, what is this B+ thing? At the end of the session, they go, you know what, Daniel, I give you a B+, or I give you an A- or whatever, based on what they saw.
What's the worst grade you've received in a session so far? And what's the best one?
I got an A- from one and then an A from the other. And then we asked the A- to go, bro, one fucking hand in a 2-bet pot where I didn't see value bet the right amount on the river. That's not A- material. So we bumped that up to an A. So I've gotten an A. I've not gotten a C yet. So it's been either, A's and B's. I'm an A and B student.
Bravo.
I was going to ask Daniel, just because it's still on topic and we might as well wrap it up and never talk about it again. Like with the whole bullshit with Doug, like they're going for the blackface shaming trash. doesn't that just fuck you off? Like they're going cancel culture on you, you know, and you're not a cancel guy, and they're cancel cucking it up with that bullshit. Like that tilted me to see that.
Okay, so that's what I should clarify too. I should clarify that too, because I mentioned in a previous video or whatever in an interview that, you know, he sort of apologized to me. So what he said was, and he wanted me to make this clear, I believe. So, you know, what he said was he still believes, he stands by what he said, you know, about what I said about the, you know, winning in 2 weeks or about rake and all those kind of things. But what he acknowledged was he went too far with stuff like that, because that's just very like off topic and personal. And like, I mean, it was a 20-year-old video, right? In addition to, you know, like he went all out. Right. And it was nice of him, I thought, to sort of say, you know, listen, I stand by what I said, you know, on the main lines in terms of poker and all that. Appreciate that. We can agree to disagree. Absolutely. But it was nice to hear him say, you know, I feel like I probably went too far and I'm sorry for that. So since then,
I mean, they used it again with this recent bullshit video, though. I mean, how many times does the fucking guy want to use it?
Well, this was since, right? I think it's old. Like, listen, there's literally nothing you can do to me anymore that's going to like, oh my God, you're going to cancel me? What? Because I did a video 20 years ago that I thought was a funny skit about a culture that I absolutely
you got banned
admire.
on Twitch, mate.
I got banned on Twitch for something else, for asking to put someone's teeth in an area that they don't typically belong. That's frowned upon apparently on Twitch. You know,
I mean, I'm lucky I haven't been banned, honestly. So
I'm shocked you're not banned. Like I would. Yeah, it's amazing.
Hey, don't report me, man. All right.
I won't.
All right.
I was ragging on you a bit today, man. I got to say, I don't want you to think I did it behind your back. I was trash talking you, bro.
Oh, you thought I played bad?
And shit. Nah, not really. Just like the whole state of the game. You know, you were the whale, he was the reg. I was just calling it like I felt about it.
Yeah, I don't think that's true anymore.
Some action. I was trying to get a little prop bet going, but
yeah, I don't even think that. I mean, I don't think that's true anymore. I think like. At this point, I mean, it's very early, right? We played 3,500, 3,600 hands, but I think from my perspective, the way the gameplay, you know, is going, I mean, if people are getting 4-1 right now, I can't imagine you'd feel good right now going, ooh, sweet. I want to bet more on 4-1. I mean, if you do, great. If you think I'm bad because I, you know, whoa, oopsie, you know, queens in the big blind, forgot the 3-bet. Oh, you know, old shucks, you know, old man. You know what I did? I went with Phil Hellmuth's read, right? When he raised before the flop, and I had queens.
You thought about folding, but you wanted
Hellmuth told me to go with my read, so I just figured I'll try to flop a set because if he felt strong, you know, his open felt really strong to me, and I wasn't sure how to react, so I was like, let's just take a flop. And then I flopped top set, and I'm like, well, he probably has aces or kings. He's going to bet, and then I guess he didn't. Bad read.
Man, I think everybody's rooting for you to win outside of the people betting against you, because Doug is neg free rolling so hard, and he's making tweets like, quote this tweet when I win. It's like, imagine if this guy fucking loses. This is going to be funny.
Well, I can imagine that scenario coming up, and I admire his abundance of confidence, but I promise not to make it easy all the way to the finish line, and I'm going to work hard. I know he's going to work hard, but just know that I'm here to make it competitive.
And Daniel, most importantly, your wife Amanda is joining us for commentary tomorrow. So I'm imagining you're going to have to go back and watch that 2-hour session, 3-hour session, just for pure entertainment value when your session is over.
Yeah, I've specifically told her not to reveal all my strategies and what I'm doing, because otherwise we're gonna have to start all over. But nah, she won't. She won't. She actually humors me really well, like before bed, because I got all this. I dream nonstop now poker. It hasn't been like this since I was 21. Middle of the night, I'm like, oh, check raises flop, nonstop. As soon as I wake up, it's before bed. So our pillow talk now sounds like what do you think his range is going to be in that spot though? When he check raises flop and bets turn, like I feel like he's going to have, you know, all the flushes and he's got the top pairs and like he doesn't have this, and she's like, and I think she gets most of it, but like even if she doesn't, she tries really hard, and I genuinely appreciate it.
And we look forward to having her and Brent Hanks join us tomorrow. All right, Daniel, we'll let you go for today, and we expect to see a little bit longer session tomorrow. So best of luck when we get things kicked off then.
Absolutely. See you guys tomorrow with the wifey.
Okay, sounds good to us. Thank you again, Daniel Negreanu. There it goes. We greatly appreciate the time and the exclusive post-match interview that you can get every single session by watching us on High Stakes Feud on GGPoker.tv. Kaki, overall thoughts from session 8 today?
I had fun, man. That was pretty good. That was a good time. I was forgetting what I was going to ask him, and I was like, I fucking remember. And then I asked him. I was like, sweet. I almost forgot that.
I think that's great conversation. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. We'd like to thank our wonderful production crew as well. We had Eric, we had Carlin, we had Simon, we had Patrick, we had Jeff running the numbers. Maybe we had Alex in there in the mix at times. Maybe we had James in there in the mix at times. So thanks to them. Thanks to you all for tuning in. And we will see you tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, 10:30 p.m. UTC. He's KakiTee. You can find him on Twitch, twitch.tv/KakiTee. I'm Jeff Platt. See you tomorrow.
All right, man. Good night, boys.